Houston, Texas, CBS Sports presents the National Football League as the Kansas City Chiefs play the Houston Texans. Today's game is being broadcast in Spanish. We're available using the SAP button on your television. Two of the premier pass rushers in the league on display, J.J. Watt, Justin Houston. Our kickoff is next. We've got a beautiful day in Houston, Texas. As you might expect, it is warm. The roof is closed, a perfect 72 degrees inside. Rich, you've had a lot of opening days in your long career.
Yeah, Kevin, and these players are chomping at the bit. I was nervous when I walked into that production meeting on Friday with J.J. Watt as a former quarterback and here to call the game for CBS. I thought he was going to sack me. I mean, this guy hasn't played a single snap in the preseason. He's ready to tear somebody's head off.
In the flip of the coin, the Texas won the toss. They have deferred. The Chiefs will receive, and away we go. Niall Davis, Charkandrick Wester deep back. They leave it in the end zone with Davis. To the Kansas City offense, it begins with their quarterbacks. Alex Smith beginning his third season in a starting role.
And Kevin, that's important, that third season. For the first time in his 11-year career, he's had the same head coach, same offensive coordinator, and the same quarterback coach for the third straight season. I anticipate a big year out of Alex Smith.
One of the most accurate quarterbacks in the NFL, number 2 behind Drew Brees via Pro Football Focus a year ago. He's got a 1st and 10 from his 20. And he's got a rookie center. Wilfork jumped. Charles looking for a block from Sherman, and Wilfork makes the stop. It is a gain of 3. He's out to the 23-yard line with a flag thrown across the way. I think someone was offside, someone jumping early. The offensive line, the rookie center we talked about, Morris out of Mizzou. Right tackle, a player they signed earlier this week, Ja Reed, cut by Baltimore, now starting. Fisher inactive with an ankle. And receiver Jeremy Maclin is a new addition. We talked about him, signed from the Eagles and coming off a career year. It was a penalty. It was offsides on the Texans, so it is now 1st and 5 for the Chiefs at their 25. A lot of noise. Charles. Brought down by Watt. Gains 4 on the play. Out near the 30. The Texan defense. They've added former New England Patriot Vince Wilfork at the nose tackle. We've already seen him. Watt's going to move all over the line. We'll keep track of him today. Linebacker Brian Cushing says he's completely healthy after some serious knee injuries. Jadeveon Clowney will play in sub packages, and Jonathan Joseph, the veteran, he leads their secondary. Clowney is in right now. 2nd down and 1. Watt will be at the left defensive end. Clowney's got his hand in the dirt. They go outside. Albert Wilson. Got by Joseph, finds some room, and a 1st down. The Chiefs up to the 42. A catch and run of 13.
Well, remember, Kevin, we've got 5 new starters along the Chiefs offensive line, so I think it's going to be some quick hitting throws early to make sure this group gets off to a good start. You got a chance to see Reed cut J.J. Watt. They want to be aggressive and attack up front offensively.
You thought the Chiefs may look at the middle of the field and attack too today, Rich.
Yeah, I think they have to go after the linebackers and the safeties in the passing game.
With the 1st and 10 here, outside he goes. It's the first Kansas City catch for its newest star, Maclin. It is a gain of 9. Over 1,000 yards receiving a year ago.
Yeah, he's coming off his best year of his career, and he knows the offense, having played in Philadelphia with Andy Reid. And he's a guy that has better speed and quickness at that position. And I think you talk about playing the Z position, the flanker position, the position that in the West Coast offense is where most of the balls go.
Yeah, he knows his offense, you're right. Reid drafted him. Reed signs it. 2nd down 1. O'Shaughnessy maybe in the sights. Watt can't get it. Smith. And Smith has got a 1st down. Runs into Texan territory near the 45. Watt was chasing him. Gain of 4.
And this was one of the concerns that J.J. Watt had. Alex Smith's mobility. The ability to pull the ball down and get on the edge of a defense. J.J. Watt gets caught peeking inside. Doesn't keep contained and lets Alex Smith get out on the edge.
How about the line calls today, Rich, coming from that rookie center, Morris?
Yeah, that's going to be a challenge, Kevin. Communication, it's very loud, obviously, here in Houston. Want to make sure he gets off to a good start. His first starter start in the NFL.
It's Charles on 1st and 10, brought down by Jared Crick. Gain of 2, 43-yard line. Let's take a look at that line. Last year opening day, which you and I did against the Tennessee Titans, and what they start with today down here in Texas.
Really amazing to think about it. 5 new starters, and you look at Morris, he's never started a game. He's a rookie. You look at Duvernay Tardif, his first ever start in the NFL. And even the right tackle position with Ja Reed. 0 starts at right tackle, just 7 starts overall. And this is a very inexperienced group up front, especially down the middle and on the right side.
Clowney is in. 2nd down and 8. Reed the block at the right tackle, batted down by Crick. The pressure was there. They filled the lane. Incomplete pass.
And J.J. Watt's not the only defensive lineman for the Houston Texans that can knock down balls. And they spent so much time working on this in practice. Crick is actually inside. He's going to spin outside. He's just following the eyes of Alex Smith.
Texans defensive coordinator is Romeo Crennel, former Chiefs head coach, facing the Chiefs for the first time since he was let go. 3rd and 8. Looking into the nickel is Smith. The quick release, batted down again. It may have been merciless. It was. Knocks it away. Chiefs have got a punt on their first possession.
Well, Romeo Crennel really has a terrific defense, and I think he mentioned to us on Friday, Kevin, just building off what they did a season ago. You're going to see Merciless right in the middle of your screen. He's going to rush. He knows he can't get there. He gets that right hand up just enough to knock the ball down. That's unsettling for a quarterback on the first series to have 2 batted balls.
So the Chiefs punt as they began at their 20. It's Colquitt, and he'll send it to Keith Mumphrey. Good hang time, lands at the 11 and down right there. Hang of 4.7. Colquitt gets it away. 36-yard punt. Down by Jamel Fleming. Here comes Brian Hoyer and the Texans. Brian Hoyer was the Browns starter a season ago. He won the starting job here against Ryan Mallett with the duel in the preseason, Rich.
Yeah, he's a smart player, Kevin. He's accurate. He's got a great understanding of the offense, and he's tough.
It's a 1st and 10. So it's coming in. It was picked off by Peters. The rookie in his first NFL game, his first NFL snap. He just picked off Hoyer, and look where the Chiefs have got it. 1st and 10 at the 14.
I mean, this is just too easy. I mean, Brian Hoyer's not even looking to his right. Late with the football, he just throws it right to the rookie. No Chiefs quarterback or cornerback had an interception in the final 9 games of the season. This is an area where they really struggled getting their hands on some football. It's a big reason why they went out and drafted Marcus Peters with their first pick.
And a lot of people looked the other way when Peters was available.
Yeah, they really did. He had some issues in college. Kevin, you and I sat down and visited with him last night. He's excited about this opportunity. He told us he wouldn't sleep very much last night, but he was looking forward to competing against some of the better talent in football.
How about this from the 13 of Houston? The Chiefs 1st and 10, Charles. Got a block in there from Stevenson. It is a gain of 3. Crick and others making the stop. Dent was there to the 10.
I think the real challenge for Jamal Charles today, Kevin, is going to be running behind that offensive line. There's 5 new starters up front. You know, you have to develop some consistency, some cohesion as an offensive line. They don't have that. Even the communication and how that's going to impact Jamal Charles in the running game is going to be very interesting.
Will Fork is in on the defensive line. Watt the left end. Couple tight ends for the Chiefs. 2nd down and 7. Smith. Touchdown! Caught by Travis Kelce. And the Chiefs cash in on the interception by the rookie Peters.
Well, great idea. They use two tight ends. You'll see Kelce. He runs the nod post. Had a breakthrough season last year. Led the Chiefs with 67 catches. He's a huge target for Alex Smith, 6'5", 260 pounds. A guy that can run down the middle of the field.
So the pickoff by Peters on the first snap as a pro. Now here comes Cairo Santos with the new position for the extra point. From the 23, the 10 yards of the end zone. This is a 33-yard 1 point, making it 7-zip. So Peters picks off the veteran Hoyer. He makes a statement early. And then Smith to the former basketball player, Kelce, for the Chiefs.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find Southwest Airlines fares online only at southwest.com. FanDuel, the leader in one-week fantasy football. And by Michelob Ultra, the superior light beer.
Pretty day in Houston. Those two guys combining on big plays. One on defense on the right, Peters. Kelce with that athletic catch, dragging across the end zone on the 10-yard touchdown pass by Alex Smith.
You have to have a short memory, Kevin, when you play that position. To make a mistake, you got to forget about it and move on.
Quentin Debs, who played for the Chiefs a couple years ago, will leave it in the end zone as he gets the kickoff from Santos. Back now to the offense moments ago.
Getting rolling. Let's take a look at Brian Hoyer's eyes. As he's dropping, he's going to be looking to his left. That's where he's at. And what we talk about at the quarterback positions, you cannot make a blind throw and you can't throw the ball late. He does both in this situation, and it results in an easy interception for Marcus Peters.
And Houston was pushing that pocket too.
They got some push, and when you don't, you can't make blind throws, especially late to the flat.
It's Alfred Blue, the 6'2" running back out of LSU, and he climbs ahead, and on his back he found DeVito on a gain of 4. On that line, blocking Pro Bowler, the left tackle Dwayne Brown, starting to spite a thumb injury. No surgery, but it's heavily bandaged today. And the running back, we just saw Alfred Blue getting the start with the injured Arian Foster. Receiver Andre Johnson, a mainstay for the Texans, gone. DeAndre Hopkins, the new #1 receiver here. Foster, they say he's optimistic he'll return sooner than the end of the month. We'll find out. It's 2nd down and 7. Hoyer with time, Brown the block, and whoa, what a catch by Nate Washington. He had a couple on him. Phillip Gaines and Ali, 19-yard pickup to the 42 and a first down for the Texans.
And this is where I think they're a lot better. We know what they have in DeAndre Hopkins, but they went out and got Nate Washington and Cecil Shorts. Washington can make these type of plays on the boundaries. A cagey veteran who knows what to do.
He began with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Here's a 1st and 10 handoff. Blue steamrolling his way into the secondary. It's Gaines making the stop, pickup of 11, and that is a first down. We're going to see some Dontari Poe on the line. Practice this week for the first time after back surgery in July. He'll be in base, they say. Linebacker Derek Johnson back. Missed most of last season with the ruptured Achilles. It's 1st and 10. Look at the time for Hoyer. And he overshoots his crossing tight end, Ryan Griffin. It is an incomplete pass.
No, this is an area they really struggled a season ago, Kevin, at the tight end position. It was a disaster. And considering how much Bill O'Brien wants to utilize tight ends in the offense, it was stunning how seldom they figured into the passing game. The 3 tight ends combined for a league-low 32 receptions. He assures me, as we visited with him on Friday, that this is a position that should be better, even though they kept the same 3 tight ends.
It's a 2nd down and 10. Quickly outside. Bobbled. Is it a live ball? It is incomplete. They jump on it, and the guy doing it was Alan Bailey on a pass dropped across the way.
Hoyer just needs to settle down, Kevin. We saw him 2 plays ago miss his tight end. It was wide open. Ryan Griffin working across the field. You know, sometimes you have an ugly start to a game like that. You just got to be able to slow down and get your wits about you.
Cecil George is the one who dropped that one there. 3rd down and 10. Chiefs have got 5 in their secondary.
90, 180.
Jonathan Grimes is in the backfield. Offers a block. Hoyer going for shorts. There is no yellow. The coverage by Gaines. There is no yellow on the field. It's 4th and 10.
Well, they got a break there. They really did. Philip Gaines gets beat. He's late. He doesn't find the football. He actually runs into Cecil Shorts. That should have been pass interference. Not a great throw by Hoyer, but still, Chiefs very fortunate.
One of the best in the business, one of the best of all time. Shane Leckler will punt with the necessary hang time and gets it inside the 20. Chiefs had Thomas back there retrieving it. Chiefs will get it for a second time. 29-yard punt. 8:40 in the first from Houston. Your weekend starts here with Thursday Night Football on CBS and NFL Network as Peyton Manning and the Broncos take on Alex Smith and the Chiefs. Right here on your home for Super Bowl 50 CBS Sports. Macklin has already been heard from here. Changes over on the Denver side, including former Texan head coach Gary Kubiak now taking over the Broncos, where he played and was an assistant for a while. All 6 plays punt for Houston. Here's Kansas City with a 1st and 10. 2 tight ends, Charles, What penetration. It's a loss to the 14, a loss of 2 on the play.
Well, what's Kansas City have to do today to be successful offensively? Plenty of Charles on the ground and through the air. They've got to be able to stretch the field vertically, generate some explosive plays in the passing game, and they have to have a plan and execute it against J.J. Watt. Kevin, he can destroy a game plan.
He's the 2-time Defensive Player of the Year as J.J. Watt. 2nd down and 13 for Alex Smith. Charles through his hands. Out there, Akeem Dent to meet him. 3rd and 13.
And they were kind of a one-trick pony a little bit last year with Jamal Charles. They wore him out, not just on the ground, but through the air. He's so good in the passing game. Great screen runner. Can run the burst, the checkdowns, the wide flares. He's got great hands. You look at Andy Reid. He knows he's got to make sure that 25 gets a lot of touches in this one.
6 defensive backs. Coney is in. 3rd and 13. They need the 27. Charles getting some blocks. Jason Avant leading the way. Also out there, the center, Mitch Morris, 17-yard catch and run. And he's out to the 31.
And Reed's now getting a chance to really go after J.J. Watt a little bit. And he's getting help from Alex Smith and Andy Reid. The ball is coming out quick. Short and intermediate throws early against the Texans.
How about the luxury of having one of the elite running backs in the NFL and Jamal Charles as a 3-down back?
He can do it all, Kevin. And I think he's even gotten better in protection. But he is a complete player at that position.
Davis is in. And there goes Smith hitting the deck. Former #1 overall pick by San Francisco. It's a gain of 5 right there with the slide to the 36-yard line.
And Alex Smith will keep you honest if you're that backside defensive end or outside linebacker. Not afraid to pull the ball down and run.
He takes care of the ball, whether it's in his hands or off his fingertips for a throw.
He takes unbelievably good care of the football. He turned it over just 7 times all season, 6 interceptions and 1 fumble. I think he learned early on in his career in San Francisco, if you don't take care of it, you won't play.
With a 2nd down and 5 to Anthony Thomas in motion. Charles. And he was hit by Raheem Moore in the secondary as Dent slowed him down. It's a gain of 10.
Well, Kevin, it's important to have plays that look the same but are different. We see a couple times now where they've run this wide flare. They started with the end with Thomas, but then they come back out the back door. Plays that look the same. They heard him earlier with a couple of these wide flares to the right. They come back with a screen to the left.
And what an understanding he's got of this system.
Well, he's got a great understanding. And again, in year 3, it makes a huge difference. Things are starting to slow down for Alex Smith under center.
Davis is in. And they whip it outside. Macklin dancing on the side with Kareem Jackson. Close to a first. Picks up 8. Good solid throw. Down to the Texan 46.
And Alex Smith told us that the first day Jeremy Macklin came into town and they went out in the practice field, he had a thorough understanding of the offensive system. I can't tell you as a quarterback how important that is, to have the confidence to know that the player is going to do the right thing in the right situation, make the right adjustments versus press or versus off coverage. That's so important for the Chiefs.
Albert Wilson has taken his place. 2nd down and 2. Davis is in. And the draw. Grubs the block. And brought down after a gain of 4. Crick makes the stop. Let's make our first trip to New York and James Brown.
Seattle would like to do more of this, Boomer. That's right. It's a punt return. They didn't have any one of these last year. How about Kansas State rookie right here? Tyler Lockett is going to go 57 yards for a touchdown. 7-0 lead in St. Louis versus the Rams. Back to Kevin Harlan and Rich Gannon.
Bill Snyder is now smiling in Manhattan, Kansas with that kid and what he did.
There's been a lot of good Lockets that come out of Manhattan, Kansas, that's for sure.
1st and 10. Morris the block. Wide open. The rumbling Kelsey taking it to the house. His 2nd touchdown reception today. A 42-yard catch and run, career long.
Well, it's not that often that we get a guy that's so wide open. He starts inside like he's going to run the post, and then he wheels right back outside to the corner. He is wide open in the secondary. Somebody blew a coverage back there for the Texans.
There's a number 87. There was an 87 on Thursday night who caught 3 touchdowns for New England.
Yeah, Pittsburgh had a difficult time even tracking and locating Rob Gronkowski.
Santos for the extra point late in the 1st. Ooh. It got through on a line drive, but that is the story so far. Charles had a 17-yard catch on 3rd and 13. Then to the big tight end for his 2nd touchdown reception today.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Verizon. Watch live primetime games with NFL Mobile only on Verizon. And by the awarded Rewarding Jeep Grand Cherokee.
Rich, I said you just a couple minutes ago they're going to go to the middle of the field. You said, yeah, and you told us why, and sure enough they have.
Yeah, Kelsey, the ability to match up against the linebackers and safeties. Alex Smith said if they get good protection, that's an area where they feel they can attack.
Santos will drill this out of the end zone over Demps's head to the 20. So the Chiefs may not have gotten a knockout punch, but they have now certainly landed a hard right. That Texan game plan has been altered a little bit.
Well, unfortunately, you fall behind 14-0 at home, but they can't get away from it, Kevin. They've got to be able to run the football to succeed. Even without Arian Foster, Alfred Blue needs to be a big part of the game plan.
This is into the nickel. Peters makes the stop on Keith Mumphrey, who's a rookie out of Michigan State. It is a gain of 7. They're up to their own 27.
And I think Alfred Blue needs to have north of 20 carries for this team to win. They've got to help Brian Hoyer. They went out and got Nate Washington and Cecil Shorts for a reason. DeAndre Hopkins needs to make some plays, and then they better have a plan for how they're going to handle Justin Houston. They can't let him take over the game.
Fast tempo, 2nd and 4. Tackle made by Derek Johnson. Boy, is it good to see him back. Gain of 2 right there. He was out, ruptured an Achilles along with DeVito in game 1 of last year. Missed the entire season.
This should really help their run defense. And he talked earlier this week about, making plays. You got to be able to trust your eyes, and being away from the game for a whole year, he had to retrain his eyes in order to be able to anticipate an attack. But he's one of the better inside linebackers in the business.
Grimes, the running back, still the nickel. It's 3rd down and 2. Good block by Brown. He's got Halil. Here comes Poe. And there goes Hoyer. On the crossing pattern, caught by Cecil Shorts the 3rd. 15-yard pickup. A 1st down to the Texan 43.
Boy, this thing took forever to develop, but great protection up front gets it done. Hoyer starts to his right. He's moving to his left. He's got plenty of time to slide, buy extra time to find a wide open Cecil Shorts, but boy, it took forever.
Grimes on 1st and 10. Huge hole into the secondary. Brought down by Ron Parker. The run to the 36, galloping 21, another first down.
Boy, this is a good-looking hole for Jonathan Grimes. 2 hands on the ball, gets up on the second level, stumbles a little bit. Kansas City gave up way too many explosive runs, especially early in the season.
Grimes from William & Mary. So got a new quarterback and a new team for him. Second-year head coach Grimes with the fake on 1st and 10. That's Washington. Peters from behind. The cross works again. He has the catch and run to the 17. Pickup of 19 on the play. Another first down for the Texans. This is how they answer the 2 Kansas City touchdowns.
Well, play action, and Nate Washington always does a great job catching the ball away from his body. Not the fastest receiver, but a sure-handed receiver who will do the right thing. And that's so important in an offense.
1st and 10, they empty the backfield. And that's caught. Shorts down to the 2. Parker makes the stop. How about Hoyer on this drive? That's a 15-yard catch. Shorts caught another one for 15. Washington a 19-yarder. Grimes a run of 21. Good-looking drive.
Kevin, you mentioned tempo. They're going to jump the ball.
1st and goal. Grimes. And he was lassoed from behind. Grabbed by Johnson. Loss of 2 back near the 4.
Clearly Hoyer has settled down. The ball's coming out of his hands quickly. He's been very accurate. He looks much more comfortable in the offense. And remember now, he's got a history in this offense, having spent time with George Godsey, the offensive coordinator, and Bill O'Brien in his younger years in New England.
Hoyer, who has played for 5 teams in 7 years, has a second down and goal at the 4. Nothing yet to DeAndre Hopkins. Bottom of your screen, the top receiver.
Got one-on-one down there.
Blue is back in. Now they go for him. Touchdown. Sooner or later, you knew they would find their number 1 guy. And they beat the rookie.
Well, welcome to the NFL. You know, you go from being the hero to the GOAT in a matter of minutes. You know, Marcus Peters has the interception early. Now Houston comes right back and goes after him with DeAndre Hopkins. Actually really good coverage. He can't outleap DeAndre Hopkins. This is a throw that Hoyer does a really nice job of, Kevin. These fade throws in the back corner of the end zone.
He's had the best and the worst as the rookie Peters. 8-play, 80-yard drive. Bullock missed it. And this is what the competition committee was thinking about when they extended that extra point position.
Yeah, kickers made 93.3% of the extra points in preseason. Now last season that number was 99.3 when the ball was spotted at the 2-yard line. So it's down about 6%. Small but noticeable difference, especially when you keep in mind that the kickers made at least 98% of their extra points every season since 1994. So it was really an afterthought. But Kevin, moving this ball back to the 15 is going to make things a lot more difficult for these kickers.
You can see the new rules. You can try for the 2-point. Now it's basically a 33-yard try for that 1 point after a touchdown, if you so choose.
And if the defense returns a blocked kick or a failed 2-point conversion, the defense will be awarded 2 points. So it's a live ball. It could certainly change what happens for a team that's trying to go for a 2-point play to win the game. You know, the Texans down by 8. Should and could very well go for 2 the next time they score.
This is Bullock's kickoff after the missed extra point. He's on a Texas A&M. Niall Davis. 3rd-round pick out of Arkansas. He was tripped up on the play by Kevin Johnson. We're excited about him. He's the nickel. It's a 30-yard return. It's not too late to play NFL.com fantasy. Join draft and play from anywhere with the new and improved mobile app. Sign up free at NFL.com/fantasy. Fantastic start for the Chiefs. Although they were answered well by the Texans right there, but 2 early Smith touchdown passes to his tight end.
And if you're Houston, you better have a plan for how you're going to handle Travis Kelce. He's gotten off to a great start for the Chiefs.
With Smith with the 1st and 10. Charles outside, one-on-one with Cushing. Another catch and run, and a good one right there by Charles. He's out to the 36, and on this early first quarter, he's had catches and runs of 17, 10, and right there, 11 yards.
And that's almost like stealing. I mean, it's nothing more than a sweep, you know, a run to the left, is throwing the ball to Jamal Charles. They want to get him matched up against linebackers. There's not a single linebacker in the league that can cover Jamal Charles in space. And Andy Reid knows it.
Kelce has caught touchdown passes of 10 and 42 yards. He has been the early game story. Hoyer and the Texans answer that with a beautiful 8-play, 80-yard drive. At the end of one, 14-6, the Chiefs on CBS. Look at some of the numbers from our first quarter here in Houston, Texas. Kevin Harlan, NFL MVP Rich Gannon. The offensive line was a concern of yours when you were thinking about what Kansas City might do in this game today.
And yeah, in the blocking unit last year, Kevin, they really struggled for consistency all season. This year they've got 5 new starters, and they've played well. They've played really well through the first quarter.
Alex Smith has hit his last 5, 8 of 11 overall. Jet sweep. DeAnthony Thomas, and he's grabbed by Demps, and he works his way for 9. He's up to the 45.
Well, they just try and find creative ways to get the ball in the hands of DeAnthony Thomas. He's kind of a tweener, Kevin, in between a running back, a receiver, but he's a guy that can really hurt you with the ball in his hands.
Had a calf issue and converted from running back to wide receiver. Talked about.
You know, the big thing for him, he's not very big. Can he play on the edge? Much better in the slot, but can he survive on the edge in the NFL?
2nd down and 1. The fake to Charles, the block by Stevenson, the run by Smith, and the catch made by Kelce. He took a big shot from Johnson. He was brought down by Demps. He takes it to the 38. And he felt that one. 17-yard catch and run. Not a good sign there.
No, not a good decision by Alex Smith. I know he doesn't do it on purpose, but you have to see out in front of throws. He gets rushed. He steps up. He throws the ball to Kelce. He never feels the corner out in front. Keep an eye on the left part of your screen. You're going to see Kevin Johnson come in there, and he's just going to light up Kelce. Almost knocks the ball out, but he hits him right in the ribs. Ow. That hurts.
Landed hard on his shoulder. Injury timeout and 14:07 to play in the first half from Houston.
And back here in Houston, you can see the doctors and trainers visiting with Travis Kelce on the sideline. Tough guy to even get up from a hit like this. Alex Smith never sees out in front of the throw. It's a big hit from Kevin Johnson. It's one player they cannot afford to lose. Led the Chiefs with 67 catches a season ago.
Kelce's had the terrific day so far with a couple of touchdown receptions. One of 10, one of 42. 3 catches altogether, 70 yards. Demetrius Harris will come in and replace him. It is a 1st and 10. Stevenson pulls, Charles the run, and he is tackled and fouled by Brian Cushing. On a gain of 2, he's to the 35. Back to New York, James and Boomer.
In relief, Boomer. That's right. Josh McCown took a hit to the head. He's out of the game now. Johnny Manziel comes right back in and hits Travis Benjamin on the money. 54 yards. That's Johnny Manziel's first TD pass as a pro. And who did they beat? Antonio Cromartie, who had a tough preseason for the Jets. 7-0 Browns.
Might resurrect the moniker money. Back to Kevin and Rich.
As we know, the Browns have lost 10 consecutive season opening games. Maybe Manziel can spark them. 2nd down and 8. Thank you, guys. Smith in the middle. Macklin tripped up by Jackson. A catch and spin to the 22. 13-yard pickup and a 1st down.
Well, you're already starting to feel the presence of Jeremy Maclin and the comfort level of Alex Smith. This ball comes out on time. Just a little hook route in the middle of the field as he's working inside on Kareem Jackson.
Maclin is sure-handed too, the lowest drop ball rate among all receivers. Maclin, 7 consecutive completions by Smith. 1st and 10, Niall Davis. Beautiful cutting outside. Stevenson looking for the block and finally brought down by Raheem Moore. It's a gain of 11 to the 11-yard line of Houston. Another first down.
And I like the fact that Kansas City can shift gears, give Jamal Charles a blow and bring in Niall Davis and not have very much of a drop-off. Andy Reid over there calling plays. That information gets relayed to the coordinator, Doug Peterson. He calls that information into Alex Smith.
Kelsey is still out. Harris is the tight end. Charles will watch. Davis is in. 1st and 10. Smith. Maclin. Read well by the veteran Jonathan Joseph, who did not play in the preseason. This is his first action. Gain of 2 on the play to the 10.
Well, a lot of these guys didn't play in the preseason. Watt, Will Fork, Jonathan Joseph. Really nice tackle by JJ in the open field. Little shoot route. Doesn't give Jeremy Maclin anywhere to go.
Clowney has come back in. We were told he was going to play in sub packages defensively for the Texans. Watt will be remaining on the left side.
And this is a handful for the Chiefs. Both ends. You've got Clowney on one side and Watt on the other.
Charles is in. 2nd down and 8. Tipped. But Charles adapts. And then he was brought down by Cushing after a gain of 1. It could have been worse. He's down to the 9. That's the 3rd tip ball that Smith has thrown.
And Alex Smith has done a really nice job, Kevin, of stepping up in the pocket and getting rid of the ball quickly. He knows what the issues are with J.J. Watt and Clowney on the other side. The ball has to come out on time. You take the extra hitch, bad things happen against this Houston defense.
Kelsey is back in. He's out there with tight ends. Harris. Shaughnessy, 3rd and 7. Smith. Incomplete and back to Maclin. Uncatchable. They had Moore, they had Demps, and they had Jonathan Joseph all in the vicinity. So they're going to have to settle for a 3-point try. Yep, they'll bring out the field goal unit, and they'll try for 3.
And that really wasn't the look they were looking for. A bit of a force there by Alex Smith. Does the right thing, though. Throws it low and away so that safety couldn't make the play over the top.
So Charles on that drive had a catch and run of 11. Maclin had a reception for 13. Kelsey had a catch and run of 17. Davis had a run of 11. Thomas a run of 9. Here's a 27-yard field goal by Cairo Santos. Snap from James Winchester, his first NFL game. And 3 more on the board. And 10:26 to play in the 2nd quarter. Reid is happy. They held the ball. They drove from their 20. They get a 27-yard field goal. 10:26 in the 2nd.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV. McDonald's, teaming up with the NFL like never before. And by Voya Financial, changing the way you think of retirement.
The Gerald D. Hines Waterwall Park in beautiful Houston, Texas. One of our favorite stops. We just saw a 27-yard field goal by Santos, who now kicks it off. It's Quentin Demps, and he again will leave it in the end zone to the 20-yard line. Week 1 continues later today on CBS, and for some of you on Fox, then tonight with Sunday Night Football on NBC, and tune in tomorrow for Monday Night Football doubleheader. Eagles, Falcons, Vikings, 49ers. Good looking drive. The last time as we see Eric Berry on the field for the Chiefs, did not start, but out there and playing today after the diagnosis last year, lymphoma, chemotherapy, missed most of last season, back in playing. One of the great stories in the league on opening day, number 96. with a little run right there by Chris Polk and brought down by D. Ford on a gain of 2 to the 22.
You're right, Kevin. So great to see Eric Berry back on the field. That triumphant battle with Hodgkin's lymphoma. And Andy Reid told us last night he crushed every test that he had during training camp. The lifting, the running, the conditioning. But keep in mind, this is a guy that hasn't practiced much in the last year. He missed all of training camp last year with an Achilles. Missed a lot of practice time last season with various injuries. So he needs to get his timing back in this defense.
With 2 tight ends, 2nd down and 8. Polk, who they signed from Philadelphia. To the stop by Derek Johnson on a gain of a yard to the 23. Here's a look at Berry and his timeline with the diagnosis. The chemo. Stayed right at home in Atlanta. There was some terrific medical assistance right there. Chiefs made numerous trips to visit him and his family. He kept his weight on because his dad is a sensational cook. They told us last night. Andy said, I enjoyed going down there too because I got to eat.
And the player said, you know, he didn't look a whole lot different. I mean, he took great care of himself, found a way to get his conditioning in, keep the lifting, and really kept the weight on.
It's 3rd and 7 for Hoyer.
Ooh, late short again.
Yep, it was. Fleming was in the, or Abdullah was right in the vicinity. They pushed the pocket. 3 and out. They got a punt again.
And with a shorter quarterback, Kevin, that's what you want to do, push the pocket. Hoyer's a guy that wants to step up into the pocket, so if he can get some push up inside, that can be very disruptive for Hoyer.
39-year-old Shane Leckler, a former teammate of Rich's out in Oakland, will punt. With the great legs in the history of the game. And it's caught by Anthony Thomas, and he's got some room to roam before he is finally brought down by Mumford on a 20-yard return. 48-yard punt, 5 seconds on the hang time. It's been a good start for Alex Smith. 2 touchdown passes today, and the Chiefs on the road on opening day with the lead. A lot of medical people still looking at Kelsey.
Yeah, you know, it's not a good thing. I mean, he's a tough guy, Kevin, but that was a big shot he took from the rookie, Kevin Johnson.
2 tight ends. After the 3 and out by the Houston Texans and a 20-yard return by Anthony Thomas. 1st and 10 for Smith, who's looked good. Great blocking. And down he goes. Macklin working on Andre Hal. It's a 20-yard catch to the 32-yard line of the Houston Texans.
Well, they're really hurting. He's going to start inside and he works right back outside, but they're really getting hurt with the Chiefs, that this little nod route that they run where they start him inside to the post and work right back out to the deep corner. Houston secondary, the corners and safety struggling with that route. That's the one that Kelsey hurt him on with the touchdown in the first quarter.
Macklin with 5 catches and 52 yards with the 1st and 10. Charles bumped into his own blocker right there. That was Ja Reed. And a loss of a yard. I can't even imagine what's going through Reed's head, having just signed this week and being thrust into the start and roll. There's still an ankle issue with Fisher, so Reed starts at right tackle.
I loved what Andy Reid said to him when he came. He said, welcome to town. Now get in there and go block the best defensive player in football. That's what you're going to do for us this week. Kevin, he just came in town on Monday. He's still learning the terminology and the verbiage, but he's done a really nice job here in the first half handling J.J. Watt. That is not an easy responsibility.
Sherman in the backfield, and now Charles will join him. 2nd down and 11.
I just jinxed him.
Doesn't matter with or without a helmet. J.J. Watt will always put his fingerprints on a game, but as you see, a flag has been thrown. Loss of 9, first sack back as it stands now to the 42.
Well, he is relentless. I mean, those feet never stop moving. He's a great leverage player that can bend and get underneath a big tackle.
Use of hands to the face, number 75. Offense, penalty is declined. 3rd down.
On Ja Reed, the right tackle.
Yeah, he just gets underneath him and just... Alex Smith has no chance. But this is what J.J. does. His ability to bend, to use that lower body power, the quickness, his hands. He is one of the best pass rushers in the business.
Hold on to your hat. It's 3rd and 20. They need the 22. Pressure again. Niall Davis grubs a block. Davis on the move and shy of the first to the 30-yard line. But they do get into field goal range, so it paid off They'll try for 3, perhaps. Nope.
Wow, it's amazing.
They are going to go for it.
It's not like it's 4th and 2 or 4th and 3. It's 4th and 8.
You like this call?
I don't. I mean, I think you got a field goal kicker. Kevin, this is well within his range. And force Houston to burn a timeout.
Even Watt is down on a knee.
I think this caught Bill O'Brien off guard and Romeo Crennel.
So it's 4th down and 8. Bill O'Brien, who is a longtime coach in New England, the head coach at Penn State, who is National Coach of the Year, now in his 2nd season with the Houston Texans after going 9-7, inheriting a 2-14 team the year before.
Yeah, it's amazing. The only team to improve their win total by more than 4 games. You mentioned taking over the league worst team with 2-14. Terrific turnaround last year for the Texans.
Well, coming up in the Verizon Halftime Report, join JB, Tony, Bart, Boomer, and Coach Cowher. Scores, news, highlights, as well as a preview of the season debut of Thursday Night Football on CBS and NFL Network. All coming up in the Verizon Halftime Report.
Well, Andy Reid had a chance to think about it, Kevin. He's going to send out Cairo Santos to kick it. Not going to convert a lot of 4th and 8s in this business.
Well, he got Houston to take a timeout. Otherwise, maybe the Chiefs may have taken a timeout. Some of the gamesmanship going on. 48-yard field goal try. Santos has already kicked one moments ago from 27. .48 yards right down the middle. 20-6. Reid won on 2 accounts. He got the Texans to use a timeout. He got his 48-yard field goal, and the Chiefs have scored every time they've had the ball. 4 possessions, 4 scores. They had to punt the first time, but 4 straight now.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Cialis and by the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot.
The Chiefs were undefeated in preseason, Rich. They went 4-0. They felt they had incredible momentum. We heard this last night from their own mouths coming into the year.
Yeah, they've really done a nice job. I think just getting off to a good start. Certainly, they benefited from Marcus Peters' interception in the first quarter. But defensively, Kevin, they've done a nice job bottling up Blue. He hasn't done much. 3 carries, 16 yards, and they've kept the lid on DeAndre Hopkins for the most part. Just the 1 catch, of course, went for a touchdown, a 4-yard catch in the back of the end zone. But DeAndre Hopkins just 1 catch so far in the first half.
Santos kicks it out right there to the 20-yard line on the touchback. And don't miss the season premiere of TV's #1 comedy on its new night, The Big Bang Theory, Monday, September 21st, right here on CBS. All right, now for the Texans. We're late in the first half, and they're down 20-6.
Well, I think it's important to build some confidence before you go into the locker room at halftime. Put a nice drive together here, come away with some points.
With the 1st and 10, the tight end Griffin is on the move. Here they come, and down he goes with pressure applied by Jay Howard. Up the middle and forcing the sack. It's a loss of 8. It's back to the 12.
Well, you're going to see Jay Howard right here inside, just working on the left guard. Jeff Adams, he just gets beat right around the edge. Hoyer has no chance.
Suafilo is out. He is the normal starter at the guard. Adams taking his place today on the line for the Texans. It's 2nd down and 18. Nice catch. Washington. Coverage by Fleming, who's from Arlington, Texas, number 30 for the Chiefs. It is a gain of 4. He's up to the 16.
You know, it's hard to go 80 yards in this business, Kevin. All 5 of the Houston Texans drives have started at their own 20 or worse. They've not had great field position so far in the first half.
Again, their first one at the 7. That's when it was picked off by Peters. 4 consecutive drive starts at their 20, 3rd and 14 here. Grimes is in as a back. Oh, knocked away. It's a loose ball. Recovered. Knocked away by Houston. Recovered by Bailey. Another turnover deep in Texan territory. The second turnover today by Houston, and the Chiefs again given a golden opportunity.
Well, you're going to see Justin Houston. I mean, we talk about this all the time against the Chiefs. You cannot hold the football against this defense. And you can't be in these situations, these third and longs, with these great pass rushers. Derek Newton gets beat around the edge by one of the best pass rushers in football.
After the Peters interception early in the game, they converted with a 10-yard touchdown pass to Kelsey. Kelsey is in right now.
This is a Kansas City defense, Kevin, that really struggled a year ago taking the ball away. Already come up with 2 turnovers here in the first half.
Charles is in, first and goal at the 7. Smith, Charles, the block by Kelsey, the dive for 6. Touchdown. Alex Smith has just thrown his 3rd touchdown pass.
Great location. Watch how quickly Jamal Charles gets his head around and makes this catch. I mean, the ball is on him right away, and then you get, again, we talk about it, he is a very tough tackle in the open field. He has rare and unusual speed. That's what he has.
A 20-point lead. The Chiefs, as they get the extra point attempt here from Santos, have gotten 2 turnovers from the Texans and converted that into 14 points. Alex Smith, 3 touchdown passes today. Kelsey for 10, Kelsey for 42, and Jamal Charles, the elusive Charles, for the dive. 28-year-old Jamal Charles from Port Arthur, Texas, 4-time Pro Bowler, just goes in on a 7-yard touchdown reception. This summer, the Chiefs, Charles, attended the Special Olympics World Games in Los Angeles, and he spoke about dealing with a learning disability as a child and actually taking part in those games then led the participants in the athlete's oath. Quality kid and an elite running back in this league.
He really is. And we talk about great players, but there's a lot of great people in this league, and certainly Jamal Charles is one of them, Kevin. Very, very active and very involved in the community back in Texas as well as in Kansas City.
Here's another kickoff by Santos, who has kicked field goals today of 27 and 48 yards, and Demps is awaiting it. This is returnable, although he's told to stay in the end zone, which he does, by Chris Polk.
Well, they need to generate a big play. When you're struggling a little bit offensively, sometimes that big play can show up in the kicking game. This is an area where they struggled a year ago. They were 25th kickoff coverage, 29th kickoff return, punt coverage 31st, punt return 31st. Special teams weren't very good a season ago here in Houston.
With a 1st and 10 run, Jonathan Grimes hit by a ton, including Houston, and getting a shot there from Gaines and a gain of a yard to the 21.
And that's really where I think Justin Houston was better a season ago, Kevin. So much the attention on him in terms of the pass rush ability, but his ability to play the run.
He told us, he says, I want to get better in run defense.
He wants to get better in coverage and in run defense. And as Andy Reid said, if he rushed every play, he'd shatter every sack record. But they asked him to drop in coverage as well. He's a complete player at his position.
Signed that huge 6-year, $101 million contract. 2nd down and 9 out of the reach. Almost picked off. Eric Berry was coming through. They were looking on the side for Griffin. 3rd and 9. And the boos already beginning to cascade from the stands.
Oh, these are the situations you want to avoid when you go up against Kansas City. These 3rd and longs. This is where Bob Sutton, the defensive coordinator of the Chiefs, can really make things difficult for a quarterback.
Hopkins there, number 10, has only been targeted once, and that was for a touchdown. 3rd down and 9. Hoyer, and knocked away. Peters got right in front of the veteran Washington with a passes defense. He's had an interception already in the game. Another 3 and out. The last 3 possessions for the Texans, 3 and out, fumble, 3 and out.
Yeah, just a little bit behind the intended receiver, and Peters makes a great play. And Kevin, you just got the sense when we visited with him last night, he's not cocky, but he's got that that air of confidence about him. You know, he has the interception, he gives up a touchdown, he comes right back with another big play.
Leckler to punt, not much hang time. On the move to Anthony Thomas. Finds a corner. Another good return. Finally hit by McKinney, who spun him out of bounds. Thomas had a 20-yard return a couple possessions ago. Returns that for 16 yards on a 42-yard Shane Leckler punt. A good first half by Alex Smith.
It's been a great first half, Kevin. 15 of 19, 193 yards and 3 touchdowns. He's taken advantage of some opportunities. The defense has created some turnovers, some great field position. He's found his tight end. He's done a good job getting the ball in the flat to Jamal Charles. He looks very comfortable, very poised in the offense.
For a second consecutive possession, the Chiefs will start in Texan territory from the 47. Knile Davis in the backfield with Sherman. Davis, Sherman the block. And he is brought down by Merciless as he worked his way near the 45 on a gain of 3.
Kevin, you mentioned earlier that Alex Smith now in the 3rd year in this offense. It's amazing how things slow down for you as a quarterback. You know, you hear the information, you're able to process the information quickly and more efficiently at the line of scrimmage. You're able to give tips and reminders in the huddle to players that need it. You know, you've run these same plays and same concepts over and over again. You're able to recognize little subtle nuances in the coverage. You get the sense that Smith is so much more comfortable this year in the offense.
Davis, nothing comfortable there when you're facing 99. Watt throws him for a 3-yard loss. Back to the 48.
Well, you got to block them, right? I mean, that's the first thing. I mean, I'm not a rocket scientist, but I know that if you don't block 99, you got no chance to win the football game. And that just goes to show you the backside pursuit for J.J. Watt. He's got great quickness to work down the line of scrimmage.
Watt, the only player in NFL history to finish twice with 20 or more sacks in a season. Clowney is in, 3rd and 11. Watt changes sides. Jackson will chase Smith, who wisely throws it away to Anthony Thomas, who's down there and covered on the play.
It was a wasted opportunity there. They got great field position out around midfield. They go 3 and out. Well, Houston gets an opportunity here, Kevin, with a couple timeouts and 2:38 on the clock to try and put something together before halftime.
Dustin Colquitt will punt. Humphrey is back. Two 9-7 teams from a year ago, both optimistic. Coming in, Colquitt. And maybe volleyballed in, looks like it is. Branch is the one who downed it, but the guy that saved it was Chris Conley out of Georgia, who they are very excited about.
Really a terrific play by the rookie. Question is, does his foot step on the line? But good alertness. Be able to throw it back in to Tyvon Branch.
Conley was taken in the 3rd round out of Georgia.
Ruling on field will be a touchback.
Oh, I don't think so.
Oh, he's not on the
Ball was placed at the 20-yard line.
Good call. They did get it right.
That's a great shot right there.
Good job by our camera people.
You see right there, the foot clearly on the line. Oh, break for Houston.
6th consecutive start for the Texans at their 20. Look at Dustin Colquitt.
It kills his net. Punters hate that.
You're talking to Leckler about that.
These guys care about the numbers.
Empty in the backfield, blue now bottom of your screen. Brian Hoyer out of Ohio State with a 1st and 10. Open in the middle is blue. Tambahali is there to douse him along with Mauga. It is a gain of 7. He's up to the 27-yard line.
I really think Houston has to go after these young corners from Kansas City. You know, Peters is a rookie. Phillip Gaines a 2nd-year player. You have to find out about them early, especially the rookie.
Timeout taken by the Chiefs. That is their 2nd. So Hoyer has started this game 8 of 15, a touchdown pass, a short one, and an interception, 89 yards.
Yeah, horrible start to the game. We talk about not seeing throws. Peters there makes the interception. He's able to come back and find DeAndre Hopkins, but then he gets the fumble from Justin Houston that leads to a Chiefs score. Too many bad plays in the first half from Brian Hoyer. You mentioned, Kevin, 8 of 15 for 89 yards. They've got to be able to get the ball outside the numbers a little bit and go after these young corners for Kansas City.
And my apologies, I said Ohio State, Michigan State. He's a Spartan. We're happy up there with how they're playing. Second down and 3. Blue into a thicket right there of Chiefs defenders and hit by a couple, including Mauga. He's out to the 31, gain of 5. There's,
they're not going to get this play off.
George Godsey right there, who is calling the plays this year. Last year it was the head coach calling. Now they got a new play caller, new offensive coordinator. There he is right there, George Godsey. We're at the 2-minute warning here in Houston, first half. With a 2-minute warning, a couple timeouts remaining for each team. It is a 1st and 10. Hoyer looking for Hopkins and the coverage on the play by Peters, who becomes the #1 cornerback with the suspension is Sean Smith, as we said before. Hoyer very much aware, I think, Rich, of his limitations, what he can and cannot do within this offense and physically.
Yeah, I think he does. I mean, he doesn't have, he's not going to overpower you with his arm talent, Kevin. But I think, the thing that's really hurting him right now is the lack of production on first down, and certainly without Arian Foster, that makes things that much more difficult.
So it's 2nd down and 10, and here's a run by Grimes. With a minimal gain, we'll call it a gain of about 3 on the play. Up to the 34-yard line. Houston among a couple there with the stop.
There's no sense of urgency here. They're huddling. They're just, it's almost as if they're comfortable going into the locker room down 27-6 at home to the Chiefs.
He's not comfortable.
Can't believe it.
No. 3rd and 7. Ali coming off the edge. Hoyer, good throw. Washington brought down by Berry. He's got the first down. He's to the Kansas City 48. It's an 18-yard pickup and a good throw by Hoyer.
Well, you've got DeAndre Hopkins up top here, and you've got him on the rookie. I mean, you've got to go after the rookie, do you not?
1st and 10, he'll go the other way. He goes for Washington again. He's covered on the play by Fleming. He picks up 13 yards to the Chiefs 35. Catches of 18 and 13 yards right there by Washington. Bounced around a little bit. Pittsburgh, Titans, and now the Texans. 1st and 10. Hoyer on the move with the tight end making that one. Ryan Griffin, 18-yard catch and run to the 18-yard line of the Chiefs.
And I think Griffin can really help him, Kevin. You and I saw Ryan Griffin as a youngster up in Green Bay, and this is where they need to be able to work in the middle of the field. Get the tight end matched up on the safety.
Then Parker got him. Well, coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report, JB, Tony, Bart, Boomer, and Cowher for the scores, highlights, and news you want. Plus a preview of the season debut of Thursday Night Football on CBS and NFL Network. All coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report. Getting ready in New York. Discussing a very busy opening day, which will lead to Santa Clara and Super Bowl 50, a once-in-a-lifetime event right here on CBS. From the 18, 1st and 10. Grimes remains. And the call. Adams the block. Derek Johnson makes the stop. It is a gain of 4. He gets to the 13 of the Chiefs.
Boy, it's really been a running back by committee approach. Alfred Blue 4 carries. Grimes with 5. Polk with 2. Got to hustle.
2nd down, 6. 1 timeout left for the Texans. Hoyer. Here comes Houston. Down he goes. Hit that time by Allen Bailey. And someone lost a shoe. 3rd Kansas City sack. And the ball back to the 16 and a loss of 3.
I always say you never go broke taking a profit, Kevin. And sometimes if you pass up the first player, look, give the ball to the back right now. He's open. Instead, you've got to deal with an angry Justin Houston coming off the edge. You don't want to take a sack in the red zone. Don't pass up the first receiver for the second receiver, thinking that he may be open. work through your progressions. Trust the offense.
And trust your knowledge of the offense.
And he clearly has it. You know, I think that's the best thing that Hoyer's got going for him is just his history and his familiarity with the offense here in Houston. That allows you to go out and play fast, play with confidence.
Chiefs and dime, 3rd and 9.
Timeout, Kansas City.
Chiefs timeout. Rich, let's step back a little bit and go over some of the main stories. Chiefs came out very strong. They forced a couple turnovers. They've cashed in on those takeaways.
They really did. And, you know, talking with Andy Reid last night, Kevin, he was concerned about how things would go early. So we got to weather the storm early. We just got to hang in there. We've got so many new starters along the offensive line. There are going to be a few bumps along the way. We can't panic. We just got to keep chipping away. And it was just the opposite. They were the ones that took control of the game early. The young offensive line has really handled themselves well for the most part. And Alex Smith has looked really, really sharp. 15 of 20 for 3 touchdowns.
How about Macklin and what Macklin has meant to this offense?
He is really a difference maker. And you get the sense that the quarterback has a great comfort level with Jeremy Macklin.
It's the 10th play of the Texans drive, 3rd and 9. Hoyer. Dropped by Washington. Coverage on the play by Fleming. No yellow on the field, 13 seconds left. 4th and 9. What will they decide to do, although the fans are barking here for interference?
Well, Fleming gets that hand in there a little bit early. Official right there to make the call. Hoyer's missed a couple of these corner throws, Kevin. He's a little bit late, and the ball has been behind the receivers.
If you watched Hard Knocks, you can read his lips. You know what he's saying.
He wasn't crazy about Hard Knocks, was he?
No. Bullock with a 34-yard field goal, and he puts it in. He missed one. And that makes it 27-9 with 9 seconds left in the first half. He missed the extra point earlier on. Bullock did, not the field goal. He missed an extra point. Here's that play again. What do you think? That looks like interference.
And I could see why Bill O'Brien is frustrated. Fleming clearly gets that hand in there early. That's the second one now that the officials have missed.
George Godsey meeting with Hoyer, who won a battle in preseason, much talked about, with former Patriot quarterback Ryan Mallett, who they have here from the Patriots.
You got to ask yourself, Kevin, if Ryan Mallett is ever going to be the long-term answer at quarterback here. He couldn't beat out Ryan Fitzpatrick last year, couldn't beat out Brian Hoyer this year. I don't think there's any question that he has the arm talent, but I don't know if he has the total package. Bill O'Brien told us that Hoyer clearly won the job in training camp. He embraced the challenge, embraced the opportunity, and really won over his teammates in training camp.
Bullock with the kickoff, and deep back to Anthony Thomas out of Oregon, and he'll leave it there. 9 seconds left. 1 timeout for Kansas City. And they've got to be incredibly satisfied with this lead at halftime on the road in a place where the expectations, much like Kansas City, are very high here in Houston.
Yeah, I think, you know, if you're Andy Reid, you're really pleased. And I think if you're Bill O'Brien, there's a lot of things that have to get corrected in the second half. I think they have to get back to running the football on the early downs and having some success. They've got to help out Hoyer. And then defensively, they've got to contain Jamal Charles and create some turnovers and opportunities for your offense that struggled in the first half.
And you can see the absence of Foster on the Houston side making a difference.
Painful.
Huh? Yeah, I know it. It's tough. He is a dynamic player, and O'Brien doesn't have him right now. That's into the first half with the Kansas City Chiefs on top 27-9. We'll be back with the Verizon Halftime Report after this message as you're watching the NFL on CBS. It was picked off by Peters. The rumbling Kelsey taking it to the house. Chiefs quarterback Alex Smith with 3 touchdown passes. The Chiefs, no turnovers and no penalties. That is our halftime score. Now let's take a look at the DirecTV Ultimate Picture Cam involving the quarterback Smith and his big tight end Travis Kelce.
Yeah, it's so hard to go on the road and win in this league, Kevin, but you mentioned no turnovers and no penalties in the first half. It's been a really clean performance so far for the Chiefs.
Kevin Harlan alongside Rich Gannon. Let's talk about your big picture view of the first half. I think this is going to catch some people by surprise.
Yeah, really strong performance by Kansas City, getting off to a good start. Houston, on the other hand, it looks out of rhythm. They have not played well. Hoyer turning the football over. They've got to take a deep breath at halftime, really come out here in the second half and not abandon the game plan. I think that's really important. They have to still be able to run the football offensively and play action off of that.
Any specific adjustments you'd make? That's a good feel-good story as you take a look at some of these adjustments, but specifically, what do you see?
Well, let's start with Kansas City, Kevin. They've got to be able to run the football better. Jamal Charles just 7 yards rushing on 6 carries, especially with the lead. They've got to be able to finish off this team in the fourth quarter by running the football. Defensively, I wouldn't change a thing. They're doing everything right defensively. Houston, on the other hand, we talked about not abandoning the game plan. They've got to be able to run the football. Grimes is leading them right now with 27 rushing yards. They've got to be able to crank up the attempts on first down. And finally, defensively, they have to find a way to get to Alex Smith. Kevin, you mentioned he looks really comfortable. 15 of 20, 193 yards and 3 touchdowns. That is a problem right now for the Texans.
With the opening kickoff of the second half, Dents will watch it sail over his head. Another touchback to the 20-yard line and through 30 minutes of football. These are some of the numbers.
Well, the biggest one there, Kevin, the turnovers, and of course the interception early from Hoyer, the fumble when he was flushed from the pocket by Justin Houston. 14 points off of turnovers. Kansas City has done a great job taking advantage of the mistakes for the Houston Texans. They've had 35 total plays in the first half, Kansas City. 21 of them have been run from the Texans' territory inside the 50-yard line.
Ryan Hoyer with the 1st and 10. Blue got the fake. And Hopkins gets the ball in front of Peters. 16-yard pickup to the Texans 36.
Look at the cushion that Peters has given DeAndre Hopkins. And Kevin, just 1 catch in the first half. Not surprised to see Houston come out firing the ball in the direction of Hopkins to start the second half.
He had some offseason wrist surgery. Hopkins missed the offseason program, but coming off a 1,200-yard receiving season a year ago. With the 1st and 10 underneath. Good hit by Derek Johnson. Was the ball jarred free as Blue tried to get it. They call it incomplete. The stick right there by Johnson making the difference.
I don't know why they just didn't come right back and throw the ball to DeAndre Hopkins again. See Blue there. That with Derek Johnson does a really nice job stripping that ball.
Closing in on the all-time Chiefs tackling record held by Gary Spaney. 2nd down and 10, Blue. No pile drive, and then the grasp of Parker along with Peters. It is a gain of 7. So it'll be 3rd and 3. They're up to their own 43-yard line.
And Kevin, it's not going to end well for the Texans if they ask Brian Hoyer to throw the ball 40 or 45 times in this game. I mean, they've got to be able to run the football, pound it at this Chiefs defense that had their own issues a season ago. They were 28th in run defense, and then play action off of that. If you drop back and throw it every play, you're really going to struggle handling Tamba Hali and Justin Houston.
With the 3rd down and 3 and looking into the Kansas City nickel. The hands of Washington. A couple of Chiefs right there. Mauga along with Fleming. It is a punting situation on their first second half possession. 4 and out.
Well, you've got to give him one he can catch. You see George Godsey there, the offensive coordinator of the Texans. He's frustrated as well. Seems like Hoyer hasn't been able to find his rhythm in the passing game.
The elusive D'Anthony Thomas is back. Leckler will field a long snap and send this skyward. Wipe it away into the end zone with good hang time, but it kicks in. You could not keep it. Leckler in the field of play. 57-yard punt. Just into the 3rd quarter. Here comes Smith and the Chiefs. Texans just punted into the end zone. 1st and 10 Kansas City. Charles, that was a difficult exchange, and Will Fork and Watt are there with no gain on Charles on 1st down. And this is what they did in their resume in the first half.
After that first drive, they really got rolling there, Kevin. 5 straight possessions where they came away with points. And really just took control of this game. Go to the locker room up 27-9.
Clowney is in. Macklin will be atop your screen. 2nd down and 10. Underneath, Kelsey. Another catch. Staggers ahead. He was hit by Demps. He falls after a catch and run of 9 to the 29.
We're just going to see Kelsey just work across the field, and this offensive line has done a really nice job, and I think Andy Reid deserves some credit as well, Kevin. He's done a really nice job calling a game where Alex is getting rid of the ball quickly. They're doing a good job stretching the field horizontally. They're not allowing this Texans defensive line to tee off on the guys up front.
Thomas in motion, 3rd and 1. Charles. Clowney was over there to try to seal it. He did. And there's no gain on the play. They are still short.
That was a good stop by the Texans. Look at them crowd the line of scrimmage. Cushing's up there. Really nice job there on the edge by Kareem Jackson. He comes up in there and throws his body. Takes out one of those would-be blockers.
Keith Mumphrey will look for the punt from Justin Colquitt.
You need a big play, Kevin, in the kicking game to get back in this. When you're struggling to find your way offensively, sometimes a big play in the kicking game can be just what the doctor ordered.
Colquitt. Mumphrey. Well, the hang time was over 5 seconds, since that gave a chance for Chris Conley, rookie receiver, to get down there. 52-yard punt. Hoyer back out there trailing 27-9.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find Southwest Airlines fares online only at southwest.com. AT&T, DirecTV and AT&T are now one, bringing television and wireless together. And by FanDuel, the leader in one-week fantasy football.
The beer can house, Folkart House, covered with beer cans and bottles. Not much on insulation, but great chimes when it blows wind here. Houston, Texas. 1st and 10. Hoyer with blue in the backfield. He saw something. Going to a run. And he picks out a couple as he goes to the 20-yard line, hit by a ton on the play. Hopkins has been quiet.
Yeah, Texans fans witnessed a changing of the guard at wide receiver where Andre Johnson ruled since 2003. And Hopkins really emerged as the big-time threat, hauling in 67 catches last year. But, Kevin, he's had a very difficult time getting away from press man-to-man coverage. Gaines, Peters both have done an outstanding job against DeAndre Hopkins. Just 2 catches for 20 yards.
With the Chiefs in base, 2nd down and 8 for Hoyer. Oh, here they come. DeVito was getting in there with a big paw and incomplete. Washington was covered by linebackers. And there was Mike DeVito up the middle, took a pay cut to stay with the Chiefs, coming off a ruptured Achilles on game 1 last year. His presence has been felt on that defensive line.
Well, he brings toughness and leadership to the group. Kevin, you mentioned DeVito and Johnson. We were both there at Arrowhead last year when they went down in week 1 against Tennessee. It's a tough injury to come back from. It takes time. But Mike DeVito and Derek Johnson really going to help the Chiefs when it comes to stopping the run. You get these unusual overloads by the Chiefs.
6 in the secondary, 3rd down and 8. Incomplete, short, looking for shorts with coverage by Ron Parker among a couple. Abdullah was there as well. It's another 3 and out to begin the second half for the Texans.
And here come the Boo Birds in Houston, Kevin. And I talked to you before the game about Hoyer, and I said that I think he's going to be on a short leash. In other words, you know, he's got to prove that he can be the long-term answer at the quarterback position. And if not, they won't hesitate to make the change to Ryan Mallett.
Leckler to Thomas. Number 34. Another good punt return. And then finally brought down on the play by Bernardrick McKinney, 15-yard return. He's had returns of 20 and 16 after that 46-yard punt right there. 15 yards. Never miss a moment of football action with the CBS Sports app. Every play, every story, every highlight, right when they happen. Download the CBS Sports app. After the punt, it's 1st and 10 for the Chiefs at their 48. Smith winding up and going deep, and he's got his man. What a catch! Macklin working on the veteran Joseph. Macklin is down. The gain takes him to the 14-yard line. A 39-yard catch and a first.
This is why they went out and got Jeremy Macklin. They need to be able to generate more explosive plays. Great protection once again for Alex Smith. They do a good job stretching the field horizontally, not so much vertically a season ago, and that's where I think Macklin has the ability to really make a difference this year for Kansas City.
Watch his head when it hits the turf. Boom. He's up, though. That's good. He's up and walking under his own power after he just grabbed onto that 39-yard pass from Smith. Going deep, that's been a question mark for Smith. Could he and would he, and now he can.
Yeah, it's it's something that I think he's getting more and more comfortable with, Kevin, when you look at surrounding him with players that can go get the football. I'm always amazed, though, as you see Macklin come off the field. Guys that ding their head, everyone pops them on the head when they come to the sidelines.
They've just challenged the catch. Bill O'Brien has just challenged the catch downfield by Jeremy Macklin. Pete
Houston
Morelli
is challenging the ruling of the field of a completed catch.
will step aside with the review.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Fruit of the Loom. They test their products so you know they work. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Pete Morelli has talked to New
After
York.
reviewing the play, the ruling on the field will be incomplete pass. The receiver did not maintain complete control of the ball through the process of the catch.
That wipes out a 39-yard pass completion. Macklin making a heck of a stab at it. We've got our own official in our New York studio, Mike Carey. Mike, what do you think?
Well, here's why this play was reversed. The receiver, when he goes to the ground, has to control the ball completely through contact with the ground. If you see his focus on his hands and the ball, his hand completely comes off the ball while he's touching out of bounds. That makes the ball dead at that spot, incomplete pass.
And Rich, what do you think?
I agree with Mike. That's why we have him.
Of course you're going to say that.
It's the right call. Again, you got to maintain possession of the ball through the ground.
Right there.
I think that clearly, Kevin, it's a you like to have that catch, but just the idea that Kansas City is beginning to push the ball down the field some. It's really going to help them down the road.
Smith has had a marvelous day. 16 of 22, 202 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Second down 10, Jamal Charles. Hit by Dent, picks up 4, gets into Texan territory at the 48.
And I think Kansas City feels the best way to attack this Houston defense is not necessarily on the ground, but through the air. And they've done a nice job with the short and intermediate throws. Smith's already thrown the ball 22 times, but the ball is coming out quick, and they're not allowing J.J. Watt to get home.
You've all now seen, I'm sure, the golden 50-yard line all over the NFL through preseason, celebrating the golden anniversary of Super Bowl 50, which will be on CBS this February. They did the first, they'll do the 50th. 3rd and 6. They bring a defensive back. A flag has been thrown. Charles outside dancing and corralled in the play by John Simon. Picks up a yard, gets to the 47.
We're going to get Kareem Jackson for being in the neutral zone. A little antsy with the blitz off the edge. Didn't time it up well.
Quickly an assessment of Watt after we listened from Pete Morelli.
Number 25 defense, 5-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
So Kevin, right there.
It's not that J.J. Watt isn't, making plays. It's just been a frustrating afternoon so far for him because the ball's coming out so quick. I mean, they're not giving him a chance to get home.
What about Clowney? What about Will Fork?
Clowney's been mixed in. Vince Wilfork, again, he does the dirty work inside. He creates great push, makes it difficult for the Chiefs to run the ball between the tackles.
It looked like that might have been a shove outside with the throw, but the quarterback, Smith, with his second run today, picks up 3 on 3rd and 1. Down he goes, hit by Cushing. That's a first down to the 40-yard line of the Texans.
Well, you don't see this a lot in the NFL, but a little reverse option, and he's going to make a decision on whether to keep it or pitch it. You get the corner and on an island, decides to keep it for the first down.
1st and 10, looking to go quick here. Here comes Wilfork. That is a big body chasing him. Incomplete for Charles. Also Harris was there. Wilfork was running, and he brings a lot, literally and
he's a good football player, Kevin. I think, you know, he brings leadership and toughness, experience to that position. He's really going to help this run defense, and I think he's going to help the development of some young players, Clowney being one of them.
Good point.
You know, Bill O'Brien told us the other day he put Clowney's locker in between Vince Wilfork's and Brian Cushing. He wants those two guys, their experience, their toughness, their leadership to rub off on the young player.
And he's gone against a rookie center for the Chiefs all day.
Yeah, they've done a nice job. I mean, they've done a nice job, Kansas City, with their tandem blocks, their double blocks on Watt and Wilfork.
Grubbs takes care of Wilfork here on 2nd and 10 out of the reach of James O'Shaughnessy, a rookie from Illinois State. It is incomplete. 3rd and 10.
Look at this. This is a great number here. Like, he's dropped back 25 times. He's only been sacked once. Now, by comparison, he was sacked 49 times last year, or once every 11 passing plays. That ranked 29th in the league. And so the focus this offseason was improving the offensive line, getting tougher up front, finding the best 5. Kevin, I still think that's a work in progress.
Macklin is back in. Want to do some housekeeping there. Good sign for the Chiefs. 3rd down and 10. Dancing Smith, chased by Simon, short of the first down. He picks up 3 on the fly to the Texan 37.
Well, good look here. I mean, this is the guy you got to block. And that's not probably the best way to do it, putting Travis Kelce on him, but he does a good enough job running him by the quarterback, and Alex Smith knows he has to step up inside and help his tight end.
Chiefs have elected to punt. Colquitt. It was saved on the play. It looked by Tyvon Branch, and now they call, well, there's a discussion as to what it was. And now we've
well, they can't make up their mind.
They can, I know it.
Hey, look, that's what preseason's for, right? These guys, hey, they're not perfect either. They got to work through.
And look at, an official had to separate the officials.
Well, he was in the end zone. See if he comes back in the field of play.
I don't think I've ever seen that before. An official had to separate the officials. 8:14 in the 3rd. So Keith Mumphrey was back to get this punt. He then waved it off, ran away. And Tyvon Branch, number 27 for the Chiefs, tried to save it. So Mike Carey will join us in a second. We'll talk about who's got priority among the officials. It's 1st and 10. Hoyer running for his life. And he finds his tight end, Fedorowicz. He has a 15-yard pickup. He's out to the 35 of Houston. He's got the first down for the Texans. All right, Mike, tell us about who's got priority on that call among the officials.
Well, on that call, you have both the wing official and the back judge, and they both have equal rights to that decision. And so they'll have a little tete-a-tete, and whoever's the strongest is going to come out with the ruling. And the ruling was the right ruling because there was no reestablishment in the field of play.
Mike, thank you.
2 feet.
Thank you very much. Chris Polk, running outside, the 4th-year back out of Washington, picks up 13 yards, wheels his way to the Texans 48.
And the Houston Texans going no huddle now, Kevin, a little up-tempo. Sometimes this is, you're just looking for a way to kind of get the quarterback in rhythm.
Hoyer with a 1st and 10. Downfield he goes. Nate Washington chased by Peters, and there he goes to the 20. 32-yard catch and run by the veteran Washington.
Well, good protection and a really nice throw here by Hoyer, and Washington's able to put the foot in the ground and reverse field on the rookie Peters.
8 over 100 yards receiving, as you can see, in his 6 grabs this afternoon. First game as a Texan. Hard running right there. Hypolk, who picks up 4, grabbed by Bailey. He's down to the Kansas City 16. There have been spurts of offensive play by the Texans which have been very impressive, including this drive here.
Yeah, and sometimes, going no huddle can really help you. It makes it difficult, I think, for the Chiefs to communicate. Makes it difficult for them to make substitutions, and you find out a little bit about their conditioning as well, especially this early in the season. Remember now, a lot of these veterans didn't play much in the preseason.
Good point on 2nd down and 6. Hopkins outside. Was he on the chalk? At least that's the complaint by Fleming. It'll be 3rd and 6.
I couldn't tell whether or not he caught it cleanly.
True.
I think maybe he bobbled it.
Well, let's see. Once again here on the replay.
Nope, he doesn't get that foot down. The right call by the official.
Well, let's see. They've challenged the play.
Wow, that was quick.
It was very quick.
Sometimes as a coach, you make the mistake of listening to the player. The player says, I caught it. But the player can't always tell whether or not he got both feet
Houston
down.
is challenging the ruling on the field, but the receiver completed the catch.
Let's see it again. He was dragging it. Yeah, I think he dragged that left foot, Rich. I think the left foot dragging gives him the reception. Yes.
Well, that was the right call.
It was the right call. And the left foot drag, hard to see quickly.
And a really nice job, Kevin, by DeAndre Hopkins going over to Bill O'Brien and telling him to challenge it. I never saw him drag that right foot. Great concentration on the boundary by Hopkins.
Mike Carey joins us again. He's become the 3rd member of our crew. So, Mike, glad to have you with us. And what'd you see on this one?
Oh, Kevin and Rich, what you have is a control with the ball. The right foot drags. It's easy to miss that because it's the back foot. Then the left foot hits, and then the right foot hits out of bounds. So it's easy to mistake this for an incomplete. But another great challenge by O'Brien, which will give him a free challenge coming up.
Crafty move by Hopkins. Thank you, Mike, who is in his 3rd year with this team. He's out of Clemson. He was a 1st-round pick. 3rd year with the team, 3rd different starting quarterback. He's had Ryan Fitzpatrick, Matt Schaub. Now he's got Hoyer, and he's had some guys in between, Yates and Case Keenum, some others.
It's tough.
Yeah, very.
Hey, the receiver did maintain control of the ball. It is a catch. It is 3rd down and 1 on the 11-yard line.
Good challenge, 3rd and 1.
Man, he is their big play threat, Kevin. As you point out, 12 receptions of 25 yards or more last year. You and I did a game here late in November. He had 238 yards versus Tennessee.
He was number 8 in the NFL in yards per reception a season ago. He is a threat.
He was chomping at the bit to go against these young corners of Kansas City. Gaines just a 2nd-year player. Peters, the rookie.
Oak in the backfield. 3rd down and 1. Hoyer, Hopkins, the drop. Coverage on the play by Peters. 4th and 1.
Wait, hustle up. They're going to go for it now. You got to hustle back to the huddle. As Hopkins just doesn't squeeze it, takes a peek. Good throw by Hoyer.
Texans have dropped 4 passes today. Fourth and 1. With a fullback now in Jonathan Grimes for Blue.
Look at the safety starting to cheat over that way.
2 tight ends. Blue. All 6'2" of them. I don't think he got it. With big hits by Parker. Houston was there. And at the bottom, it looked like Jay Howard. Everybody had a hand in that one. It goes back to Kansas City as they hold it on downs.
Look at less than 2 months after undergoing surgery on a disc in his back. Keep an eye on number 92 and the push that he gets inside. Dontari Poe. He is going to walk the center right back into the running back. Really a great play by their Pro Bowl nose tackle. Received 2 rounds of epidurals to alleviate some pain. Missed all of training camp and preseason games, and Andy Reid told us he was definitely going to play and be a factor in this one.
Hussein Abdullah also with the big initial hit on that play from the secondary. Poe is a 2-time Pro Bowler. He makes a difference. And now the Chiefs take over on downs from their 11, 1st and 10. Smith, Charles, blocked by Sherman. Block attempted by Macklin with the tackle made in the secondary by Joseph. A 13-yard burst, and it's a long run today by him. He's out to his 26, and he's got a 1st down. Well, if one pill could make you a genius, what would you do? Don't miss the series premiere of Limitless. It comes your way Tuesday, September 22nd. Only CBS. First and 10. And some much-needed breathing space for the Chiefs. Another block by Sherman. That opens the door for Charles. You don't see the fullback a lot. These are 2 teams that use him. Gain of 11. Another 1st down for the Chiefs, and they bring the ball to the 35.
Yeah, you look at Charles, Kevin, his ability to get on the edge. He wants to run to daylight, but when he can, he wants to bounce runs to the edge and use that speed. You mentioned the use of a fullback. Both of these offenses utilize a fullback. It's a bit of a dying breed. Just over half of NFL teams employ at least one fullback. Both the Chiefs and the Texans have them and use them often.
First and 10, blocked by Charles. And it's incomplete. They were sending Macklin very, very deep. He was inside the 20 at the other end of the field. But Charles, I think, with his block, didn't allow Smith to get sacked on the play. You mentioned his pass blocking earlier, Rich.
It's gotten better, Kevin. He's not the biggest back, and I think at times, he does so much in the running game and the passing game as a route runner that they don't want him. They don't want to put him in those positions to have to block the linebackers off the edge. But it's certainly something that he has become more proficient at, certainly over the last couple seasons.
2nd down and 10. Smith, Thomas with a block by Chris Conley, the rookie. He's brought down on the play by Kareem Jackson. He picks up 2 on the play for Kansas City. Well, we've seen 3 touchdown passes today by Smith. Kelsey has caught 2. And the Chiefs have looked sharp, but they've not scored here in the 2nd half.
I think one of the hardest things to do physically is rush the passer for 60 minutes of football. And I think you look at J.J. Watt, it's been a frustrating day, Kevin, because Alex Smith has not given him the opportunity to get home. The ball is coming out so quick. There's screens, there's short game, intermediate game. He is not holding the football.
Watt has 1 sack today, 3rd down and 8. Watt got him again. He probably stumbled and evaded the sack. No, they're going to say with the spot right here, a sack. The 2nd today by Watt. A season ago, 20. Kansas City is elected to punt.
Well, they're going to put the tight end out there on him first, Demarius Harris, to slow him down so that Reed's got a chance. He essentially beats a little bit of a double team and finds a way to get the sack.
Colquitt with Mumphrey back there, and from the 8, the rookie. Dancing. Conley was knocked down. Brought by Charkandrick West, a reserve running back for the Chiefs, 35. Your weekend starts here with Thursday Night Football on CBS and NFL Network as Peyton Manning and the Broncos face Alex Smith and the Chiefs. Right here on your home for Super Bowl 50, CBS Sports. If they go on to win this game, Red Friday, and this will be Red Thursday in Kansas City, will be huge. With a look at the slate of games on Thursday on CBS.
Yeah, quick turnaround, Kevin, for Kansas City and Denver. And I think Denver's going to be a lot different with Gary Kubiak. I think it's going to be much more of a focus on running the football. Sounds weird to say that with Peyton Manning, but I think he is committed to running the football and having more balance in Denver.
D. Ford made the stop on Cecil Shorts the third, a gain of 7 on the quick throw by Hoyer. They're up to their 18.
D. Ford had a quiet rookie campaign. He had a little bit of some trouble adapting to a new position, just a sack and a half a season ago.
Lou in the backfield, 2nd down and 3. Hopkins again. Fleming defending. And he takes it up to the 32-yard line, picks up 14 on the play. Hopkins more involved here in the second half. A first down for the Houston Texans.
Well, certainly somebody had the conversation with Hoyer and the offensive coordinator, George Godsey, about getting more throws in the direction of DeAndre Hopkins, just 2 in the first half.
Polk is in, 1st and 10, here he goes. And meets Alan Bailey, who was a 3rd-round pick out of Miami 5 years ago. Makes the stop, gain of 2. It's immeasurable, as we've touched on Foster a couple times today, and what he means, or his absence means, for Godsey and this offense of the Texans.
Yeah, you just can't replace him, Kevin. Almost a third of their offense over the last 5 seasons has come from number 23. And even last year where he missed some games, still had over 1,200 yards rushing, scored 13 touchdowns. He also caught 38 passes. And I think that's what you miss. You don't have Arian Foster in there.
False start. Number 60 offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
Well, he says he's ahead of schedule in his recovery. And, of course, they had the surgery to repair a torn groin muscle. His first padded practice on August 3rd, he suffered the injury. He had the surgery in Philadelphia. Back now, and like we said, they said 4 to 8 weeks. So it's hard to say how they heal, but certainly he's on the mend.
Sounds like he's ahead of schedule.
Yep.
Even some rumors that he could be back as early as next week or so.
2nd and 13, Polk. Looking for some blocking, upended on the play by Josh Mauga, who's playing with a bad heel today on that Kansas City defense. A gain of 9, a catch and run right there by Chris Polk.
I think this Houston staff is still learning about Hoyer and what he can do and what he's comfortable doing. It's not an easy position for George Godsey to be in, the offensive coordinator, Kevin. You study Hoyer, this is really just his, he's had 17 career starts, hasn't played a lot of football. Spent most of his career watching and backing up.
Grimes is in. Chiefs have 5 in the secondary, 3rd down and 4. Boy, they're coming again, and here comes Derek Johnson. What a return he has had. It's the 4th sack by the Kansas City defense. Johnson has been terrific today, and the Texans will punt.
Well, you think about this, they line up all these players over here, but they bring the pressure really the other way. They're going to drop. 2 of the 3 players actually drop, and they don't even block the 2 players off the edge. Great design, great scheme by Bob Sutton defensively.
0 on the clock. 3rd quarter is over. Smith with 3 touchdown passes. 2 to Kelsey, 1 to Charles. At the end of 3, 27-9. We're starting the 4th quarter. The Texans are set to punt. We've had 2 of the best punters in the NFL. Shane Leckler has averaged over 44 yards a punt. Dustin Colquitt for the Chiefs has averaged 46. DeAnthony Thomas is back as we start the 4th quarter. He dropped the ball, and with the retrieval, vacuumed it in. He's returned it well today. He really has. Daryl Morris will chase him from behind, bring him down. 15-yard return. He has had good returns, even when that one was not as smooth. 58-yard punt by Shane Leckler. Well, we have a first today, a full-time official. Sarah Thomas, a line judge in this game, part of the Pete Morelli crew. Pharmaceutical sales representative, 1st year, and doing a terrific job from what we can tell up here.
Yeah, she really is. You know she is because we're not talking about her, Kevin, but she did it the right way. She worked her way up through the ranks doing high school games, eventually working in Conference USA. And Jerry Austin, a former NFL official who officiated a couple Super Bowls, was the one who initially hired her when he was the coordinator of officials in Conference USA.
Charles on 1st and 10. He's carried the ball 12 times. He's picked up about 36 yards. He has a gain right there of 1. Cricket at the bottom of the pile. They have really zeroed in on Charles.
Yeah, they've done a nice job with Charles today. Just 36 yards on 12 rushes, but good look at Sarah again. First woman to officiate a major college game, and also, Kevin, the first to work a bowl game. Probably be the first to work a Super Bowl someday.
That'd be terrific. 2nd down 9. Pistol. Haven't seen much of this today. Charles. Got a block by Ja Reed, and now he's off to the races, dragging defenders, including Demps, with a one-handed grab, an 11-yard gain, swerving to the 41. Chiefs first down to New York. Here's James and Boomer.
A change of uniforms, but that's right, a trade pays dividends. Here's Jimmy Graham. Russell Wilson finds him. 2-point conversion by Marshawn Lynch is good. Seattle inches closer to St. Louis, 24-21 in the 4th. Back to Kevin Harlan and Rich Gannon.
You just wonder how much enthusiasm is in St. Louis for their Rams team, with all the talk swirling about a possible move, Rich.
Yeah, nobody really knows what to expect from the rebuilt Rams this season.
Here's Niall Davis trying to build on that last run. Can't do much. Watt is there, losing his hat again. Also Akeem Dent, who's replacing Mike Muhammad today, out with an injury, and he loses a yard back to the 40-yard line.
Well, this Texans defense set a team record, Kevin, last year with 34 takeaways, extremely opportunistic. They've not been able to do that today. It's one thing Kansas City's done a terrific job of: ball security, the backs, the receivers, the quarterback, and a good job taking care of the football against this defense.
Base defense right now for the Texans. 2nd down and 11. Smith, great catch. Kelsey makes the move and gets the ball in. Raheem Moore defending. 16-yard pickup to the 44 of Houston.
Well, 5 catches already for Kelsey, 95 yards. And Alex Smith told us last night he's not a burner, but he's got some wiggle to him. He has the ability to use his body to lean and to maneuver and to create some separation between himself and the defenders.
I guess that's good when they say you got some wiggle.
Little wiggle. You have to have a little wiggle, Kevin. A little shake, little wiggle.
1st and 10, 3 tight ends. Smith will dance, and he'll go down, hit by Merciless, and a gain of a yard on the play. With Kelsey, he has emerged as one of the best tight ends, as we talked about. Last year, Rich, he was number 2 among tight ends in yards per route run, right in back of Gronkowski. That's from Pro Football Focus.
Yeah, he's really good. And you look at the numbers that he put up last year. And I like the fact that he said he studied former Kansas City tight end Tony Gonzalez in the offseason, Kevin. He kept himself busy watching what the former Chief did to become a Hall of Famer. Eventual Hall of Famer.
2nd down and 9. Good block by Charles. That opens the door. Deep for Macklin. Oh, and just off his reach with the coverage by Jonathan Joseph.
Well, it's good to get that on film. We talked to Alex Smith last night about taking more chances, being more aggressive, pushing the ball down the field. And even Doug Peterson, the offensive coordinator, said there was a fine line between trying to change his mentality some, encouraging him to be more aggressive and throwing the football downfield. Well, I think early in his career he was taught, if you make a mistake, if you throw an interception, we're going to take you out of the game. That's what they brainwashed him in San Francisco.
It's working, though.
And now, yeah, he takes great care of the ball, but last year he wasn't aggressive enough. And I think you can help him as a play caller by calling up some of those shot plays early in games.
That's a good point. With a timeout taken by Kansas City. Good article in the Kansas City Times by Sam Mellinger, their columnist, who talked about their 2 camps in Kansas City, pro-Smith and anti-Smith.
You can win with Alex Smith, no question about it.
They're showing it today.
Just keep matriculating the ball down the field, boys.
Hank Stram's Kansas City Chiefs defeated the Minnesota Vikings in Super Bowl IV.
65 toss power trap.
Touchdown, Garrett North in the play.
Chiefs are the world champions.
And there's Lenny Dawson right there. He just turned 80. And I know him. I worked with him. Not a finer guy. A Hall of Fame quarterback. Len Dawson from Alliance, Ohio, the 7th son of a 7th son. Part of the great history of the Chiefs. 3rd and 9 after the timeout. Again, Smith dancing. Chased by Cushing. Flag is thrown. And still trying to keep it alive before he was tangled up by Kareem Jackson on a gain of 6. And the flag you saw, he's down to the 37 with a hold. First penalty on the Chiefs today. How about that? The first penalty on the team right out of camp and on the road
Holding.
in week 1.
Number 75 offense. 10-yard penalty remains. Third down.
Ja Reed.
And he's done a nice job
He
today,
has.
Kevin. I mean, obviously he gets the hold here, but he's had his hands full trying to block this guy off the edge. He just gets
Join the group. That's a fraternity of guys who've had trouble stopping 99. But he's held his own.
Yeah, he really has. I mean, he just rolled into town on Monday. Andy said, go get fitted for a uniform and go out there and block J.J. Watt. That's what you're going to do this week. And that is not easy because this is a guy that doesn't take plays off. He has got a nonstop motor. He is relentless, and that's what makes him one of the best defensive players in football.
The Chiefs need the 34-yard line of the Texans. Kyle Davis is in 30-19. Underneath. Grabbed by Albert Wilson. He is a quick one, but look who's on his heel. That's Watt. Trips him up. Gain of 6. Fourth down. Punting unit takes the field.
Well, he gets double teamed, J.J. Watt. You're going to see him. He's over here. He's over there somewhere. There he is. He's going to get double teamed by the right guard and the right tackle. Now watch him. What a hustle play. He comes all the way back around and tries to strip the ball from Albert Wilson. Talk about having a great motor and not taking plays off. That's J.J. Watt.
Dustin Colquitt to punt. Terrific hang. Mumford from the 11. And that's the result. When you get that ball high and hanging, you give your guys, as a flag is thrown, you give your guys a chance to get down there and cover. 36-yard, well-placed punt, 3-yard return. And a discussion with Pete Morelli.
During the return, holding. Number 35 of the receiving team. Half the distance to the goal, first down, timeout.
The reigning defensive player of the year, J.J. Watt, 2 sacks today, but his team trailing in the 4th on opening day.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by the Lincoln Motor Company and the entirely new Lincoln MKX. FedEx, solutions that matter. And by CenturyLink, your link to what's next.
Killen's Barbecue. They all love going there. Here comes Blue up the middle. On a 1st and 10, Johnson is on his back. Abdullah was riding him 2. Gain of 9 up to the 16-yard line. And the no huddle and under 10 to go. Clock ticking in the 4th.
Well, they've had terrible field position. All 12 possessions today, Kevin, have started inside their own 20 or worse.
Gain of 4. Blue carves out the yardage for a first down to the 20-yard line.
The average starting possession has been on the 17-yard line. I think I give Dustin Colquitt a game ball. He's done a really nice job pinning them back, the coverage units. Tough to go 80 yards in this
First
business.
and 10, he got away from Holly, and here's a long pass, throwing it away, whipping it over the bench. And there are 2 down players for the Texans, including a big lineman.
That's a good one.
That's a good one, yeah. Their Pro Bowler left tackle Dwayne Brown, who has an injured right thumb, no surgery, but a heavily bandaged, maybe even a small cast on that thumb.
Offense, 10-yard penalty and loss of down. Second down.
Intentional and penalized.
Well, just keep an eye on him. He's going to get rolled up by Blue as he comes over to help. He stumbles and then goes right into the back of the left leg of Dwayne Brown. I hate to see that. He's such a good player.
Terrific player.
As you mentioned, he's been battling that thumb injury. See that right thumb? It's hard enough to play this game when you're healthy. I mean, it really is. And then now you try and do it when you don't have the use of your right thumb or your knee is all banged up.
Remember Justin Houston telling us last night, he says, the one thing Tom Bahali told me is use your hands. Same is true for a lineman. I mean, you've got to.
That's how they make their living. And you look at this guy, he's got some big hands, Justin Houston. He shook my hand and about swallowed it. But, Tom would talk to him about that. Your ability to push, tear, rip, push with those hands. That's what makes Houston such a great rusher. He's quick, but he's also got some power.
2nd and 22 looking for Hopkins. And he was in a foot race with Jamel Fleming with an incompletion, 3rd and 22. The offensive line of the Texans, Rich, last year was ranked number 5 in the league in, blocking the run and the pass. They're number 7. They lost their center, though, Chris Myers, this year.
It's a big loss, but I really think Ben Jones is going to be a terrific player for them, Kevin. A 4th-year player. A big shoes to fill, filling in for Chris Myers. But he had 16 starts at left guard, 11 at right guard, 0 at center. But you're right, this is an offensive line. Only 3 teams allowed fewer sacks last season. They allowed 26, and they did so even though they played 4 different quarterbacks.
Jones was a left guard. Now he's back to center, his college position at the University of Georgia, 3rd and 22. No place to run for Grimes, no place to hide. Terrific play. Chiefs read it well. The defense has come in, and that has been the feeling most of the day about the Texans' performance. Tough on opening day. Sometimes you got to explain it.
They got a lot to work on offensively. I mean, it's been a really sloppy performance, and really they got off to a bad start with the interception early from Brian Hoyer.
Sometimes you can't watch it. Leckler. DeAnthony Thomas, they're going to get good field position here. He's had a great day returning punts. I mean, terrific returns. Here he waits patiently and is finally brought down by the Texans. Akeem Dent, a 17-yard punt return. He's had a couple 16s. He's had a 20 and a 15. Hey fans, stay tuned for the NFL Today update presented by FanDuel. Time permitting, join JB, Tony, Bart, Boomer, Coach Cowher. Scores, news, highlights, opening day, opening weekend in the NFL. The opening game Thursday with a Patriot win over the Pittsburgh Steelers. There's a 1st and 10 after that punt return of 17 yards by Thomas, a 3-yard gain by Charles, and he squirms his way to the 38 of the Texans. And time now very valuable for the Houston Ball Club. They are running out of it.
Yeah, the one thing that Houston has done a nice job of, Kevin, is not allowing Jamal Charles to break off a big run as long as it's 13. Just 50 yards rushing on 14 carries.
4th start in Texans territory today for the Chiefs with a 2nd down and 7. Catch here by Albert Wilson. Hit by Jackson. Whacked by Simon. Picks up a quick 6. And the throwing of Alex Smith today, 20 of 30, 232, and 3 touchdowns with no picks. No turnovers by the Chiefs.
No, and he's very capable, Kevin. And I think you get him better talent. I mean, last year they had Avery, Avant, Hemingway, and Hammond. Each had a chance to start a game at some point, and yet they combined to catch just 44 passes. And that's the big reason why they went out and made the decision to get Jeremy Maclin.
3rd down, 1, blocked by Charles. Off to Sherman, short. Nice play by Brian Cushing, who blew a knee in 2012 and 2013. Says, I feel like myself again for the first time in a couple years. 100%. He's played well today.
Well, he's still a very instinctive player, a guy that can run sideline to sideline to make plays. And you mentioned healthy. Well, it hasn't always been the case, and the injuries cut short 2012 and 2013. But
he's been a great story in camp, hasn't he? I mean, he's just a terrific player. He's carved his mark. They're going to try for a field goal here with Santos. 51-yard try. And this will be wide left. This field goal, he had hit one earlier in the game from 48 and one from 27. 6:10 left in it.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Furious 7. One crew, one last ride on Blu-ray and DVD September 15th. And by a Subway footlong. There's nothing bigger, nothing better. Subway, eat fresh.
Texans get it back, and here they go with Ryan Mallett, who lost the duel in camp with Brian Hoyer for the quarterback position with the 1st and 10 and a low throw brought in by Hopkins. He picks up 8. He's at the 49. Well, Rich, you were out ahead of this. You talked about this a little while ago. Short leash, you said, on Hoyer, and sure enough, you're right.
Yeah, I just think that, it's a difficult decision, Kevin, for Bill O'Brien. I mean, you hate to start the season and replace your quarterback, but I don't think a lot separated these two in training camp. Hoyer had his struggles, never looked comfortable. But the bottom line is the Texans have to figure out the quarterback position long term. It's too hard to win in this league without one, or when you have to play multiple quarterbacks throughout the season. They played with 4 different quarterbacks last year, and it wasn't good enough.
After the 14-yard completion by Hopkins, here's one with an incompletion. Great play. How about that? In the return for Eric Berry, he stepped right in front of the crossing tight end Ryan Griffin. Incomplete, 2nd down and 10. One of the feel-good stories of this opening weekend in the NFL. His return.
Well, when you continue to change quarterbacks, it's tough to make the playoffs. And I hate to be talking about that in week 1, but they have to get some production and consistency at this position. Last year it was Fitzpatrick. He was up and down.
2nd down 10. Mallett facing pressure. Hopkins outside. He was quickly grabbed on the play by Fleming. His forward progress takes him to the Kansas City 25. It's a gain of 12 and a 1st down.
Well, look at Cleveland. I mean, they can't get out of their own way, Kevin. Look at all the quarterbacks that they've had. Houston has had 7 since 2011. The Raiders haven't had a winning season since 2002. Kansas City has their answer at quarterback. Alex has been the quarterback the last 3 years. Cardinals think they've got a quarterback in Carson Palmer, although he's certainly not a spring chicken, but
1st and 10, there goes a flag.
Finally.
Yep. As Hopkins again was in the sights of Mallett.
Pass interference. Number 30 of the defense. Automatic 1st down.
That's Jamel Fleming who's caught there.
And Fleming never really plays the ball. He got away with one earlier anyway. It's one of those.
You think it's a makeup?
No, I don't think it's a makeup.
No, I don't think it's a
I think it was the right call.
that only happens in other leagues.
They missed a couple earlier.
1st and goal from the 10. Mallett, Brown with the block. Underneath. It's caught by the running back, fullback Grimes, who picks that up right there. Get on the play quickly by Abdullah, and the gain to the 8, too.
And what a great opportunity now, Kevin, for Ryan Mallett. I mean, this is his football team, and now he's probably going to get a chance to start next week at Carolina. Got a chance to start a couple games last year and did some good things before he injured a pec. And this is a great opportunity to embrace the role, to be the leader on the offense, and to put together some consistent performances. That's what this team needs in the worst way.
It's 2nd goal at the 8. Lasers one inside, caught for a 2nd touchdown reception by Hopkins. And that ball had some serious gas on it.
Nobody has ever questioned Ryan Mallett's arm talent. I mean, he has got a laser. He's going to do a nice job here sliding, finding a hole, and drilling this ball in the back of the end zone to DeAndre Hopkins. You just want to give your receiver a chance to make a play, and he does that right here against the rookie corner.
Hopkins had 4 catches on that drive, of 14 and 12, the big ones, along with that 8-yard touchdown reception. They will try for 2.
You can make this a 2-score game.
With all your timeouts and plenty of time left. Now at 5 of 6 on that drive for 2. What a catch by Hopkins. Fleming was there. Hopkins has come up big in the 2nd half. He has emerged. He was quiet in the 1st half.
Wow, what a terrific throw and catch. Throws it on the back shoulder, and his ability to rotate and make a difficult catch away from his body. His catching radius is something else. It's one of the things that Andy Reid was worried about coming into this game. How are we going to cover DeAndre Hopkins on the edge? And that's great to see. Hoyer, one of the first guys out there to congratulate Ryan Mallett.
Week 1 continues later today on CBS, and for some of you on Fox, then tonight with Sunday Night Football on NBC, and tune in tomorrow for Monday Night Football and the doubleheader
I don't think
on
so.
ESPN.
Well, Kansas City will probably put their hands team out here, Kevin, but I imagine that the Texans will try and pin the Chiefs back, play some defense, and get the ball back.
The last successful onside kick by the Texans, 2011.
And when you put your hands team out there and you wind up kicking the ball down the field, it really screws up the Chiefs' ability to get in their lanes and to form a cohesive return. Sometimes the best play, especially in this situation, is kick the ball deep and go play defense.
Bullock will do just that, Rich. Out of the end zone. Thomas watches it sail away to the 20 now with the touchback. 1st and 10 for the Chiefs.
Now here's where they need J.J. Watt and this defense to come up with a couple big plays. This Houston offense really fed off of turnovers a season ago. The only team in the NFL that scored more than 30% of their points off of turnovers. 33%. 123 points came off of turnovers. It's time for Cushing, Watt, Clowney to make a play.
Now it's gotten interesting. Three tight ends. And Niall Davis in the backfield, 1st and 10. Davis with a gain of 4. Merciless and Cushing and Dent, the linebackers there to the 24 of the Chiefs.
And as a quarterback, I always felt sometimes play callers get real conservative in this situation. We're trying to make a 1st down and burn off some time on the clock, and you're running on 1st and 2nd down. Now you put me in a situation where it's 3rd and 8 or 3rd and 9. It's tough.
On the Houston side, what about use of their timeouts here? How would you use them?
Well, Kevin, I think it's a little early for that. They got to get a stop here, and then maybe burn one on 3rd down.
2nd down, 6. Again, the 3 tights. Smith, oh, look out! He was drilled by Watt.
You got to be careful. If you don't block them, you're just asking for trouble. J.J. Watt sees this play coming the whole way. He takes a beeline for Alex Smith. Now you don't have to burn a timeout. Kansas City just did Houston a favor there by throwing it away.
Chiefs have been able to convert their last 4 3rd down tries. 3rd and 6.
Now Watt's over here.
Charles is in, yeah, going to the other side. Kelce, what a duck, what a break, and what an effort for a 1st down. Travis Kelce to the 35. 11-yard pickup on 3rd and 6. That is a huge, huge play.
What a terrific job by the tight end. He basically lowers his head and allows John Simon to run right by him. You see how fired up Alex Smith is. Kelce, Kevin, has done a terrific job today. 6 catches, 106 yards, 2 touchdowns.
2nd career 100-yard receiving game. He's got a couple of touchdowns today, as Rich said. He has had his fingerprints all over this one. 1st and 10. Charles from behind, Clowney. He was fast there, wasn't he? He's played in sub packages, although this is a 1st down play and a timeout taken by the Texans.
That's one thing Clowney can really do. He can close on the backside. We know he can rush the passer, but he can really squeeze and chase plays down from behind.
Timeout, Houston. A new era in late television has begun. Don't miss The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. Tomorrow, Stephen's got Emily Blunt. Tuesday, Jake Gyllenhaal. Only CBS. He had incredible ratings on his 1st week. Sure they'll continue. Great to have him as part of the CBS family. Timeouts even at 2. 2nd and 11. 3rd and 12. Chiefs by 10. Clowney remains. Wilfork in the middle. 4 defensive backs. Out of the pistol. Smith. Nice move to get by Clowney. Cutting in. Dent was there. Gain of 2. Another timeout, Texans. 3:06 left. He is up Smith to the 36-yard line.
There's other ways to stop the clock, as you know, for Houston when they get the ball back offensively. You can't allow the Chiefs just to run out this play clock. See the timeout situation left Houston with 1.
A year ago, the Chiefs opened at Arrowhead Stadium. They lost to what would be a 2-14 Tennessee team. It was a loss that would haunt them most of the season, Rich.
It really was, and they lost two good players, Mike DeVito and Derek Johnson. But you think about a team that finished 9-7, Kevin, and what a win at home in Week 1 would have meant.
Now trying to double it. Tough winning on the road, 3rd and 9. Maybe a busted play, but the option here, Charles, Cushing, and Jackson. He gets by Watt. Look at him swerving. The elusive and electrifying moves of Jamal Charles. He picks up 8 on 3rd and 9. It's 4th and 1 from the 44.
His ability to change direction. He just needs to find a little bit of a crease. This is kind of a crazy call. They run the option. We saw it earlier in the game, but Alex Smith's going to start out to his left and roll back to his right. He pitches it out to Jamal Charles. Kind of a dangerous call, having him run the option. But look at Charles. His ability to change fields and find a little crease and almost make the first down.
He runs there for 8. His long today on the ground has been 13. He's got 16 carries, 57 yards. And the Chiefs have elected to punt. 4th and 1. Texans are out of timeouts. And Dustin Colquitt is ready.
And he'll get rid of this one in a hurry.
Colquitt today, 6 punts, 44 yards, 4 inside, 4 of his 6 inside the 20. Mumford. Then forced out of bounds as he runs across the way by DJ Alexander. 8-yard return, 41-yard punt. Mallett on the last drive, his first of the game.
Well, he was sharp, Kevin. 5 of 6 for 44 yards. It was a touchdown to DeAndre Hopkins, but he came out. He looked sharp. He gave them the spark. He made some really good throws, and of course the 2-point throw to DeAndre Hopkins. Great opportunity for him to get some reps, because you just know that he'll be starting next week against Carolina.
Chiefs begin in the nickel. 1st down and 10. Flag. Houston.
False start. Number 76 offense. 5-yard penalty remains. 1st down.
That's on Dwayne Brown.
We see this a lot when we change quarterbacks. You got a different cadence. You got a different rhythm. You've got a different sound. Hoyer may hold the second hut a little bit longer. Your job as the backup quarterback is to sound exactly like the starting quarterback with your cadence.
With the 1st and 15, here they come, and he's grabbed again. Allen Bailey has made it happen again with his pressure up the middle. It's the 5th sack recorded by the Kansas City defense today. And the clock continues to tick. Of course, it stops at the 2-minute. Now 2nd and 22. Bailey with the 2 sacks today. Into the nickel. Grimes was the back. And they go underneath. Where it is caught by Mumphrey. Driven out of bounds. Berry was there. Also coverage by Peters and a gain of 17.
The one thing I have seen from Hoyer, his anticipation. A lot of these balls are coming out before the receivers are even out of their break. I mean, he's got much better arm strength than Hoyer to make these throws outside the numbers.
Drafted by Bill Belichick in New England. Sent here. Hoyer began today. He was 18 of 34 for 236. A touchdown and a pick. 3rd and 5. Round the clock, and now they get 3, and there goes Mallett. He needs the 33, and hit by Johnson. And he looks like he's got the first down as we hit the 2-minute warning with 1:59 to go. Down by 10 and out of timeouts. The Texans on the move. As we went to the 2-minute warning, Ryan Mallett was out there trying to run for the first. You can see where the knee goes down. Now the Chiefs are going to challenge this, and they can challenge because it happened before the 2-minute warning. So the red flag was still literally during that replay. And wisely so, because it looks like he's short.
Yeah, he got a favorable spot initially.
He did, because right now they've given him the first down. But they can challenge because it was before the 2-minute warning. Anything inside 2 minutes is initiated by the booth upstairs in the box.
Pete Morelli go over and take a look at it.
He needed the 34, and he is. Well, the ball is out ahead at about the 33.
Yet he wouldn't be down until Derek Johnson tags him down. Remember now, if he slid, then he'd be down where he first touches the ground with the ball. It's a big difference there for.
So the Chiefs have challenged the spot of the ball. If you're just joining us, we've just picked up a new audience. Chiefs have had no turnovers, only 2 penalties, 3 touchdown passes by Alex Smith, 2 to the tight end Kelsey. 2 9-7 teams from a year ago. The Texans have changed quarterbacks. They began with Brian Hoyer, went most of the game. They made the substitution the last possession, brought in Ryan Mallett, who quickly led him downfield. 8-yard touchdown pass to Hopkins. He's in right now, and they're awaiting the ruling with the conversation between Pete Morelli and the New York NFL offices. They need to get to the 33-yard line. But the ball, as you can see, is loose.
He does the right thing.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. Kansas City will be charged a timeout.
We go to New York, and we talk with our expert, Mike Carey. Mike, what do you think?
Well, here's the rule. When the quarterback goes down on his own, he's not down by contact. There's where the ground can cause a fumble, which happened in this case, and he recovered it past the line to gain first down.
And the Chiefs lose a timeout in the process. It's deflected and almost picked off for a second time by Peters as they were going to Mumphrey. Rookie against rookie. It's incomplete.
Well, I love the fact that Mallett's out there pushing the ball down the field, taking shots, being aggressive. What you have to do in this situation.
Mumphrey has caught a 17-yard pass on this beginning drive already. Second down and 10. Underneath. Cecil shorts the third. Shoved out of bounds by Marcus Peters. He takes the ball to the 46-yard line. A 20-yard catch and run by Shorts.
It's getting interesting here for Andy Reid, and Bill O'Brien need a touchdown, the field goal to tie it. Remember now, it wouldn't be out of the ordinary for them to kick the field goal first and try and kick an onside kick and get the ball back if the situation calls for it.
Texans out of timeouts. 1st and 10 from the Kansas City 46. Mallett right on the screws. They stop the clock in the process. Hopkins working on the secondary. 18-yard pickup and a first down to the Kansas City 29.
Well, this ball gets on him in a hurry. I mean, he's got really terrific arm strength. He's been very accurate. It's not like he's been sitting around for the last month. He's been getting a lot of reps in practice. He's been playing a lot in the preseason.
And for our new audience, you may recall the Hoyer-Mallett duel in camp. And they chose Hoyer with that quarterback competition because of his consistency. 1st and 10. Mallett again rears back, incomplete. Washington deep, and in front they had Hopkins, and it sails out of the reach of either of both, and incomplete. And this is a statistical look at today. Charles has been effective, as you can see, the combination of on the ground and through the air. He has a touchdown reception, a short one. J.J. Watt with a couple of sacks today. Smith, Kelsey has been great. Macklin has had a huge impact on the Chiefs. The punt returner, DeAnthony Thomas, has had a great day returning punts. No turnovers and 2 penalties on Kansas City. 2nd down and 10. Mallett, short, looking for the running back Crimes. 3rd and 10, Rich.
Well, you can look at Bill O'Brien there, and again, you really, in summation, I mean, the guy to his left over there, Brian Hoyer, really struggled early, Kevin. He made the mistake and threw the interception to Marcus Peters. That resulted in points for the Chiefs. He had a situation where the ball came out with pressure and put the ball on the ground. That led to points for the Chiefs, and just never looked comfortable, never really got in rhythm, especially in the passing game.
Chiefs are going with 6 defensive backs and a timeout. Kansas City now out. Gives Mallett a chance to go to the sideline and visit with O'Brien. There's the new play caller coming in that view there too, George Godsey. both with New England roots, as is Mallett. Well, coming up on CBS, most of you will get Baltimore, Denver, some the Titans taking on the Buccaneers and Jameis Winston. Cincinnati is out in Oakland. And the Oakland Raiders, we are told, will play a lot of Aldon Smith, who they signed within the last 36 hours.
I'm hearing his 20 as much as 30 plays, and his ability to come off the edge opposite Khalil Mack, and kind of a controversial decision by the Raiders to invest in a player that's had a lot of problems this offseason.
3rd down and 10. Still the 6 in the secondary. Mallett gets a brown block at the left tackle, open up the door, and overshoots his intended receiver, Garrett Graham. The first time he has thrown for Graham today. Now they will go for 3, and you just said moments ago they got to get the field goal anyway with the deficit.
This is a throw you got to make. I mean, they don't get much more open than that, and you got to put it on the tight end. You learn not to lead tight ends too much. Put it on them. Give them a chance to get into the transition of the run.
John Weeks will be the long snapper. He signed a contract extension. Leckler will hold Bullock from 47 yards. And he hits the upright. Oh, it went in and ricocheted in. It ricocheted in. How about that? 8-ball corner pocket, and he puts it through from 47 yards with a delayed call by the 2 officials under the crossbar. But watch it. And they both agreed.
Finally,
so
they both agreed.
Yeah.
Well, Kevin, I sat there at practice on Friday, and I watched Randy Bullock work on onside kicks. He spent a lot of extra time, and he's going to get that opportunity right now.
Well, in the 4th quarter, onside kicks last year, 4th quarter onside kicks, 3 of 50. That was league-wide, 3 of 50.
So you say the odds aren't very good.
That's what I'm saying.
3 of 50.
You are sharper than you appear.
Well, this is what Kansas City has spent all their time on too, Kevin. You know, you get your hands team, you've got linebackers, defensive backs, receivers, tight ends out there, the guys that are comfortable fielding the ball. Again, I saw J.J. Watt. There's nothing this guy can't do.
Texans as an organization have not had a successful onside kick since 2011. Bullock prepares.
This is it.
Grabbed by Macklin to a knee, and that should do it. Out of timeouts, both teams, 1:23 to go. And a big play by Macklin, who has had a big afternoon in his Kansas City debut with 5 receptions and 52 yards, and comes up with a clutch grab right here.
Well, the ball doesn't quite bounce the way that Bullock was hoping. I mean, it's just too easy for Jeremy Macklin. It just lands right in his breadbasket. He does the right thing, goes right down and protects the football. This game's over. No timeouts left. All Kansas City has to do is kneel on it a couple times.
And now you look ahead to Thursday night on CBS when Manning and the Broncos come to Kansas City. The Chiefs will bring a 1-0 record, and Andy Reid wins his opener in the 3rd season as the Kansas City head coach. Alex Smith, 22 of 33 for 243, 3 touchdowns, 2 to the tight end, Kelsey, who was dinged up but had a magnificent impact early on with a 10-yard touchdown crossing pattern in the end zone and a 42-yard catch and run that saw no one get with him. And Jamal Charles, who had a big day, not necessarily with big yards on the ground, but he did rush for 57, and he did catch 52 yards and a touchdown of 8.
Well, they won today, Kevin, because they took care of the football. You know, no turnovers, just 2 penalties, a very clean performance from Alex Smith and the Chiefs. That's a well-coached team. I mean, Andy Reid does a terrific job. Think about that, 5 new starters along the offensive line. Guys that just rolled in off the street on Monday. You got a rookie center. You've got a guard who's never made a start in the NFL.
Well, John Dorsey, who is the general manager, and Andy Reid, the head coach, came in together.
To 117. Set the play clock to 40. Now start them both.
Came in together 3 years ago, and Andy Reid said the 3rd year everything begins to fit. You've established what you are, what direction you're going. He said this up at training camp in St. Joseph, Missouri. By your third year, he said, you have changeover. You look at the guys who are here now. We've changed over a big portion of the team. And like I said, he and Dorsey have said this is the most talented and the deepest roster they've had in those 3 years.
And there's a foundation that they can definitely build on, and this guy's a big part of it.
Yep.
Eric Berry, and what a great story, getting him back in training camp, feeling healthy once again, and getting more and more comfortable with the defense. He is going to have a lot to say with what they do this year. He is going to be a big part of the plans moving forward.
This sets up a beauty Thursday night on CBS and NFL Network with the 1-0 Chiefs taking on Manning and the Denver Broncos. Chiefs defense had 2 takeaways. They had 5 sacks. The Chiefs did not turn the ball over. They only had 2 penalties, and Smith was at the very tip of the spear. Watt had a couple of sacks today for the Houston Texans, and Andy Reid walks off with the date against the Broncos Thursday. Well, coming up next, Baltimore, Denver, Tennessee, Tampa, or the Raiders hosting the Bengals. For Rich Gannon, Kevin Harlan saying so long from Houston. You've been watching the NFL on CBS. Coming up, the NFL Today update presented by FanDuel. We'll take you to New York for all the latest scores and highlights right after this. Good afternoon from Houston, Texas.